Chapter 135. The time spent picking up money was always short. In the blink of an eye, 3 minutes had passed. Lu Chen was a little hesitant. He still had to go to the demon-subduing tower later. He couldn't spend the whole day in the Twin Towers. On the other hand, Lu Chen was also greedy. Let's go to the next floor. There'll be more drops there. Player, anonymous player, level, 13th floor, time used, 00300, anonymous player entered the 14th floor, time used, 00003. As soon as the news came out, the live stream was filled with cries and cheers. Damn, Nameless Bro actually made it through. Damn, he's too strong. It's already the 13th floor. Is there an end to it? Oh yeah, I bet on the 14th floor. Haha, all your money is mine. Nameless Bro is the best. Ha, he managed to get to the 14th floor with so few people. Sigh, I accidentally made a lot of money. This is so boring. Li Qiuning looked at Lin Sun with a smile. Professional players have good taste. Just now, Lin Sun was still speaking eloquently, but now that guy was scratching his head and frowning. Impossible, how could I be wrong? No way, Brother John Doe didn't do his best to win the friendship before. 3 minutes later, Nameless entered the 15th floor. At this floor, the fans who had placed their bets were no longer focused on whether they could get the prize money at the end. Nameless Bro had already proven his strength in the previous battle. Because of that, Feng Lingzi had raised the upper limit to 15. This was already an incredible result. However, Nameless Bro really made it to the 15th floor. Oh my god, Nameless Bro really made it to the 15th floor. Feng Lingzi couldn't believe it herself. How did he do it? Nameless Bro has already left everyone in the dust. Bro, give us a way out. Stop. Damn, the other servers are already talking about Nameless Bro's tower. The funny thing is, they're saying that the live stream is fake. To be honest, if I was in the other servers, I wouldn't believe it either. 3 minutes later, Nameless Bro entered the 16th floor. All the streamers were going crazy. This. 16th floor, guys, my god, Nameless is a monster. I simply can't imagine what kind of battle is going on in the Immortal Slaying Tower right now. What kind of maneuvers are needed to reach the 16th floor? Brother Nameless' equipment doesn't seem to be the best. This means that his defense is about the same as some of the top players in the local guilds. He might even be weaker than some of the top players. He doesn't even have a single piece of equipment from the underground mine. How did he do it? To be frank, I've been tortured to the point of insanity by Nameless Bro. Big brother, come out quickly. I beg you. You've already stepped on my pride again and again. Save me. Time ticked by, and everyone had already forgotten what the stakes were. What they really wanted to know was the limit. Where is the Nameless limit? Nameless, to what extent do you want to torture him? 3 minutes later, the answer was still not revealed. Nameless entered the 17th floor. Pfft. I'm going to vomit blood. Nameless Bro, are you still going to let others play? The other guilds in the 122nd district are already crying in front of the Celestial Mountain. How are we going to break through the 17th floor? At this time, a player's words suddenly attracted the attention of many. Who knows what level Nameless Bro is? That's right, what level is Nameless Bro? Nameless Bro had been hiding his information, so no one knew his level. I don't think anyone knows. When he fought Friendship, he didn't lose any health. Oh my god, I can't stay calm anymore. Not only did he fight 200 people, he didn't even lose any health. Last time, when he fought Daehan, his health was also forcefully deducted and his health was not shown. Alright, I don't have the right to know Nameless Bro's level. Looks like there's going to be another big mystery in Jiutian. The first one is the spirit player Mad God. No one has seen this player before. The second one is Nameless Bro's level. No one knows Nameless Bro's level. I just want Nameless Bro to come out quickly. This result is already unbeatable. Don't crush my weak little heart. 18th floor, 19th floor, 20th floor. On the 20th floor, in front of the Celestial Slayer Tower, a golden light flashed, and Nameless Bro finally came out. As soon as he came out, Nameless Bro shook his head and said to himself, "Oh my god, I'm still too weak. The monsters on the 20th floor are so strong. I can't beat them." Outside the tower, thousands of players quietly watched him show off. The newbies did not dare to say anything. When they saw Nameless Bro enter the Demon Slayer Tower, the crowd exploded. "What the fuck, is that even human?" Nameless Bro said he's too weak. "Does the Master Chef sell tofu? I just want to bang my head against the wall and die." "What the fuck?" The first thing he said was the 20th floor. The monsters below the 20th floor are embarrassing. They don't even deserve to be mentioned by Nameless Bro. I don't want to say anything. Nameless Bro must have put in unimaginable effort to be so strong. I don't want to watch the Demon Slayer Tower anymore. I'm afraid my heart won't be able to take it. Don't stop me, I'm going to level up. Yeah, we're only seeing the time in the tower jumping quickly. What we don't know is that Nameless Bro is trying his best to create a miracle. Other people's gains are based on their hard work. I have to work hard too. In the live stream, the atmosphere suddenly changed. For some reason, the group of people imagined a figure who leveled up day and night. So boring. Lu Chen sighed. He was sitting in the middle of a group of monsters, being tickled by a group of monsters. Although the Demon Slayer Tower also dropped money, Lu Chen really did not want to pick it up. It was very annoying to loot the corpses one by one. This was only the 3rd floor of the Demon Slayer Tower, and it would not drop much money. He might as well not pick it up. As for fighting monsters, Lu Chen was too lazy to do so. It was time to take a break. Fortunately, the tiger monsters were attacking him ferociously. Lu Chen was also annoyed. Although he did not lose HP, his equipment would lose durability. He did not want to go to the Celestial Mountain to repair for a bit of durability. "Xiao Min, possess me and then give me invisibility. Come out and tank." "Okay, boss." After possessing, Lu Chen could actively gain invisibility. Although it was only for 100 seconds, the aggro would disappear. At this time, when Xiao Min appeared, she would become the target of focus fire. However, Xiao Min was immune to physical attacks. Lu Chen was able to reach the 20th floor of the Celestial Slayer Tower by relying on this rascal combination. Leisurely leaning against the corner, Lu Chen glanced at Xiao Min. Countless numbers of immune floated above her head. He felt relieved and continued to wait for the time to pass. Now, there was nothing to watch in the live stream. The top 10 were all streaming his tower. He did not know how a group of people could stare at a single number for more than an hour. Don't this group of people want to level up? Lu Chen shook his head. Li Qiuning had earned a lot this time. She looked back at Lin Sun with a smile. "Hey, Guru, let's analyze it." Lin Sun took a deep breath and was speechless for a long time. "I analyze my ass. If only I could analyze it. Oh my god, the 20th floor. We are still on the 9th floor, but Nameless has already reached the 20th floor. I suddenly sympathize with Brother Qingtao. A first-rate team in the country is really suppressed by Nameless alone. They can't raise their heads for the rest of their lives." Li Qiuning did not think so. She supported her chin with both hands, and there was something else in her eyes. She looked gently at the back of the figure. "Nameless." She thought carefully. This is the only name you admit to. It means that in your heart, you don't want to be remembered. But, who doesn't know you? Why do you hide your ID? What level are you? Have you been leveling alone all this time? Do you feel bored? Why can't anyone find out about you? Who are you? Her curiosity towards this person had never been as strong as it was now. Chapter 136. They had spent enough time in the Celestial Mountain today. Lu Chen came out after clearing the 7th floor of the demon subduing tower. With this result, they should be able to survive for a while. After exiting the demon subduing tower, Lu Chen transferred the right to receive the rewards from the celestial slaying tower to the red high heels. To Lu Chen, 2,000 points of pure spiritual energy per day was nothing. However, to them, this was a huge sum of money. It was also beneficial for the development of the team. The red high heels received a system notification. She hurried to Nameless. "Leader, what are you?" Lu Chen smiled. "You'll be in charge of distributing the soul-gathering pills in the future." The managers of Frenzied Waves ran over. "Leader, this is your guild." "We never thought," Nameless smiled. "I'm not a good leader. Although I founded Frenzied Waves, you guys have contributed much more than me. I've already taken the Spirit Source shards. That's enough. You guys can use these for yourselves. By the way, in this Jotian game, in the middle and later stages. Oh, no, from level 25 onwards, the effects of spiritual energy will be highlighted. Don't just focus on leveling up. Pay attention to the cultivation of spiritual energy." This was the first time Nameless had given guidance about the game. With the strength that Nameless had shown, his words were enough to make anyone take it seriously. "Alright, I have other things to do." Nameless was about to leave when he suddenly remembered something. "Oh, right. I almost forgot." A system notification appeared in front of Ling Nua. "Anonymous player has requested to add you as a friend." Ling Nua was stunned. "Leader added me as a friend? Add me as a friend first." Nameless said calmly. "I've already donated 10 gold coins to the guild storage. There's a 10-mile voice transmission talisman in the grocery store. You can buy one and keep it with you. If you don't get out of the server, or if anyone bullies you in the future, just send me a voice transmission." Ling Nua stared blankly at Nameless. She was indescribably touched. Leader didn't completely ignore Frenzied Waves. "Alright, I'm leaving." Nameless finished dealing with the matters of the Celestial Mountain and turned around. In front of him, a large number of players stood there, watching his every move. Nameless shook his head and walked out of the main city. Sioux City, the headquarters of Fate Guild. The team manager, team leader, and all the team leaders were watching the live stream. Nameless' appearance had alarmed the entire society. His every move could not be ignored. After all, Nameless' strength could very well represent the ceiling of Jotian. Everyone hurriedly recorded an important piece of information. "Nameless, didn't you just say that after level 25, the effect of spiritual force will be prominent?" Well, Jotian is an online game with a Xianxia background after all. Most of the Xianxia novels on the market are just in the guise of Xianxia, doing the same old leveling up routine. But with Tianheng's style, they pursue the extreme in everything. It's very likely that Jotian will be closer to the setting of the real Xianxia world. That's right. If it's true cultivation, then physical strength is only the foundation. At the higher levels, spiritual energy is the key to determining one's strength. Damn, no wonder the cultivation of spiritual energy is different from the other 3 dimensions. Strength, agility, and physique will increase as long as you level up, but spiritual energy is the most special. The drop rate from monsters is very low, so you have to cultivate it yourself. So it's the key. Wait, did you guys notice a problem? Why does Nameless know so much about the later stages? This person's unintentional words caused the heated discussion to fall into silence. Why is he so clear about the future? The only answer is, he has already passed that stage. Could it be that Nameless is already level 25? The EXP requirement for level 20 is already an astronomical figure. How can his level be so high? I think the scariest thing is that his level might be higher than level 25. Lu Chen left the Celestial Mountain and found a secluded place to return to Ren Ai Peak. This time, he spent a few hours on the Celestial Mountain and felt that it was a waste. The record of the Tiger King's cave had been broken, but Lu Chen was too lazy to update the record. The key was that the price of the materials in the Tiger King's cave had dropped drastically and could not be sold for much. From the internet, he found that the underground mine would drop 3 pieces of blue equipment, including a very good level 20 blue weapon. Now that the big guilds were actively farming the underground mine instance dungeon, Lu Chen weighed the pros and cons. The attributes of the blue weapon, Lost Longsword, were not as good as Tiger Sob, and Tiger Sob's special effect was a perfect combination with Great Ravager's sweep. Lu Chen could not change it. The other 2 pieces of blue equipment were not that strong. The level difference is too big. If I were to farm, the EXP would be almost negligible. The key is to see if there are any hidden bosses. Lu Chen thought about it and decided to farm again. Thinking of this, Lu Chen set off from Ren Ai Peak and headed to the underground mine. When he passed by the foot of Ren Ai Peak, Lu Chen checked the materials collected by Ba Wang and the others. They were almost there. I should be able to build my instance dungeon this afternoon. I'm actually looking forward to it. Level 20 instance dungeon, underground mine. There were many guild players gathered here. This was currently the gold leveling spot for high-level players. There were not many high-level players in the Celestial Mountain main city, so this was the place with the most players. In front of the underground mine, most of the players were in groups within the guild. There were also many people who were looking for teammates because there were fewer people. The guilds and the solo players were divided into 2 large areas. In the solo players area, there were endless shouts. Are there any pharmacists? We're missing a 2-star pharmacist. The equipment will be distributed according to class. Someone with DPS would be best. An explosives expert would be best. A sword spirit cultivator would also be fine. At least someone with a dark iron sword. An experienced spiritualist or puppeteer who knows how to pull aggro. Damn, that colored pen just pulled aggro and wiped twice. How did it get to such a high level? On the other side of the guild area, many guilds were researching how to challenge the instance dungeon. The current record is 24 minutes 38 seconds. It's almost the limit. Wouldn't it be faster to use pugilists instead of monks? Pugilists have higher movement speed. No, there can only be 1 tank in the team. Otherwise, the damage won't be enough. Monk's Golden Light Protection has better defense than Pugilist's Golden Cauldron Imperial Bell. They won't die so easily. Lu Chen didn't want to cause any commotion. Since these people were busy, he took advantage of the chaos to walk to the Tiger King's cave and entered the instance dungeon. Once he entered the instance dungeon, Lu Chen looked around and didn't see a single monster. The monsters here are mine zombies. Don't tell me they also crawled out from the ground. Although the underground mine was a level 20 instance dungeon, it was smaller than the Tiger King's cave. There was only 1 path in the mine, leading to the middle area. A large number of mine zombies would spawn there. Hence, the underground mine was also called Zombie Cave by the players. Lu Chen didn't care too much and ran toward the central mine. Behind him, a group of rotting zombies crawled out from the ground and chased after him. When he reached the central mine, Lu Chen ran around the area. A large number of zombies crawled out from the ground. 2 of them were huge and terrifying creatures that were about 4 to 5 meters tall. They let out hoarse sounds and pounced toward Lu Chen with the zombies. Lu Chen shook his head. The boss is only 2. As expected, there's no point. Let's get rid of him. Let's have a few hidden bosses. Chapter 137. Great Ravager Sweep. Lu Chen waved out several sword chi, and the surrounding zombies couldn't last more than 5 rounds under a series of spiritual power damage, and fell to the ground one after another. Killed zombie worker, level 22 elite, captured 120 spiritual energy. Looking at the meager reward, Lu Chen could only shake his head helplessly. Damn it, I'll only do it once. If I get equipment, I'll never come here again. Even the 2 zombie kings only gave him a little more than 1,000 experience points. Jiutian's control of low-level rewards was simply outrageous. Ding! Your party has cleared the underground mine, Level 20, Instance Dungeon in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Congratulations, your party has set a new record. Your record will be displayed on the Instance Dungeon Clear leaderboard. Lu Chen had always activated the party mode for this kind of instance dungeon. It was just that he was the only one in the party. However, the system still thought that Lu Chen had cleared the instance dungeon in the form of a party. Your instance dungeon clear time is within 6 minutes. Your party's frenzied killing has angered a sleeping creature. If you choose to continue the challenge, your instance dungeon clear time will continue to be extended. If you leave the instance dungeon, your instance dungeon clear time will be your party's final instance dungeon clear time. Damn it, there really is a hidden boss. Lu Chen was overjoyed. Speaking of which, we actually have to enter for 6 minutes to activate this boss. This requirement is a bit high. If I didn't have Great Ravager Sweep, it would probably be difficult to complete. The current record in the outside world was more than 24 minutes and a half. According to their instance dungeon clear speed, they probably wouldn't be able to reach this hidden boss. The requirements are so harsh. Alright, I hope you won't disappoint me. It would be best if you could drop something useful. Lu Chen's answer was without any hesitation. Continue the challenge. Abyss Zombie King is on its way. Preparation time 0:04:59, with 5 minutes of preparation time, Lu Chen waited in the cave obediently. The zombie corpses on the ground looked disgusting. All of them were missing limbs and their bodies were rotten. It was even more realistic than in the movies. I killed them too quickly just now. I didn't seem to see their attack methods. Forget it, why would I want to know their attack methods? These things are so ugly. Anyway, I won't merge with their bloodline no matter what. Lu Chen firmly believed that there was no doubt about this. By the way, Xiaomin said that the souls of the dead creatures in the dungeon would be stored. Why can't I feel it? With nothing to do, Lu Chen began to look at the structure of the instance dungeon. His instance dungeon materials were about to be collected. He wondered what his future instance dungeon would look like. Not long after, the underground of the central mine suddenly shook. Lu Chen could clearly feel that the entire dungeon was shaking. They're finally here. Lu Chen drew Tiger Sob and prepared to face the enemy. However, 5 minutes had passed, but that abyss zombie still hadn't appeared. What the hell? Where is he? As soon as his voice fell, Lu Chen suddenly felt that the ground beneath his feet was empty, and the ground beneath his feet suddenly collapsed. Then, a huge arm shot out from the ground and grabbed his ankle. Fuck! This guy is down there. Lu Chen's ankle was grabbed. Although he wasn't injured, he couldn't move. He could only watch as the ground around him collapsed. Then, a monster that was 8 to 9 meters tall crawled out from the ground. This guy was completely black. It was in human form and only wore a pair of tattered pants. The flesh on its body didn't rot. Instead, it was abnormally strong and muscular. Its face was ferocious. Its facial features were dislocated. A mouth full of sharp teeth took up half of its face. Its eyes were bloodshot and protruding. Fuck, this monster is so ugly. When he saw its level, Lu Chen was stunned. Level 30 Abyss Zombie King, Diamond Grade Hidden Boss. Lu Chen definitely didn't expect that a level 30 hidden boss would live in a level 20 instance dungeon. This level was actually 2 levels higher than his. Fuck, no wonder the activation conditions are so harsh. It's actually a level 30 big boss. What an unexpected surprise. At this time, Lu Chen was being controlled by the other party. There was an abnormal status, partial bind, on his body, and there was no indication of the duration of the bind. If he was caught by the other party, it would be very dangerous no matter how much HP he had. Lu Chen hurriedly used Tiger Sob to attack the other party's wrist. Fuck, let go of me. Suddenly, the Abyss Zombie activated its skill and threw Lu Chen out, smashing him against the cave wall. -4000, Special Attack, Throwing Collision, -617, External Bleeding. Lu Chen's partial bind was removed, but there were suddenly 3 more abnormal statuses. Panic, physical defense reduced by 20%, all meridians blocked, unable to use skills. Movement speed reduced by 40%. Duration, 10 seconds. External bleeding, loses 3% HP every second. Duration, 10 seconds. Fuck, it's so strong. This guy was a level 30 diamond grade boss. If he didn't include Cenobus, the storyline boss, this guy's strength was definitely the most terrifying guy Lu Chen had encountered so far. Moreover, its attack was almost unavoidable. It directly jumped out from the ground, grabbed him, and gave him a good beating. It also gave him 3 debuffs while it was at it. Panic might be the defense reduction from the aura, similar to 8-Head and the others. However, the blocked meridians and external bleeding seemed to be caused by the overdraft collision just now. Lu Chen was now level 28, and his HP was 20568. The more HP he had, the more HP he would lose. There was also the throwing collision, which seemed to be a fixed damage, and he lost 4000 HP. Lu Chen had so much HP, but one hit took out 4 of his HP. Fuck, that's a bit strong. If other teams had come to attack him, the tank might have been killed in an instant. Roar! The abyss zombie ran toward Lu Chen. This guy was so big that it could cover a few meters in one step. Fuck, you really think I'm afraid of you? Come on. Lu Chen stopped running. The main reason was that even if he ran, he might not be able to outrun others. The blocked meridians in his body made his movement speed even slower than normal people. Although he couldn't use skills, Lu Chen could still use normal attacks. Lu Chen took advantage of the opportunity and quickly swung his sword 3 times. -407, -617, poisoned, -617, poisoned, -2216, triple critical, -617, poisoned, -1450, double critical, -617, poisoned, -617, poisoned, -1417, double critical, -617, -617. Great Ravager's sweep was not Lu Chen's strongest attack. Perhaps the total damage was high, but in terms of burst, his physical attack was still more terrifying. This was still without activating Fierce Tiger Descends the Mountain, and he had already dealt 7775 damage. However, Lu Chen was still very surprised by this damage. Fuck, my physical attack is over 1000, and I can only deal 400 damage without a critical hit. This guy's defense is so high. And his HP is also high, more than 60,000 HP. Tough and meaty. It even has crowd control. After being attacked by Lu Chen, the abyss zombie suddenly burrowed into the ground and disappeared. Fuck, what's the meaning of this? Don't tell me it ran away. Lu Chen thought for a moment. The boss probably wouldn't run away. It was very likely that it was going to repeat its old trick. He had only lost less than 8000 HP after 1 wave of attacks from the boss. If he had to fight 8 waves, the abyss zombie's attacks would directly take away a quarter of his HP. If this continued, it seemed like he wouldn't be able to beat it. This won't be easy. Don't tell me I'm going to die in a level 20 dungeon. Lu Chen's mind raced. How do I do this? How do I do this? Chapter 138. Outside the underground mine instance dungeon, there was a sudden violent tremor. All the players gathered there were shocked. What's going on? Did you receive a system message? In the national server, the underground mine instance dungeon is temporarily suspended. A team of players is challenging the hidden boss, Abyss Zombie. The system will decide whether to open the second floor of the underground mine instance dungeon based on the result of this challenge. The group of people looked at each other when they saw the system message. This dungeon really has a hidden boss. Someone actually activated it? Who is it? How long did they take? How many minutes did it take to activate the hidden boss? There's a second floor of the underground mine instance dungeon? It can't be. We've done it more than 10 times and we haven't seen any other exits. The earthquake just now was only in our server. That means that the team that challenged the dungeon is from our server. Who is it? Among the many teams that were challenging the dungeon, the 5 members of a Dragonhawk team were very depressed. One of them was Lu Chen's younger sister, Lu Yi. Who is it? If he wants to challenge, then so be it. Why is the dungeon paused? I still need to hurry up and level up. During this period of time, Lu Yi and her teammates had been frantically leveling up. They really did not pay attention to the outside world. After working hard for so long, their small team, which did not have any support, had finally slowly become one of the top teams in the reserve team. It was very likely that they would obtain the qualifications to enter the main team in the guild's internal tournament tomorrow. But at this critical moment, the most important method for them to level up and get equipment, the underground mine instance dungeon, was closed. Don't worry. Lu Yi's friend, Little Mei, comforted her. If the underground mine instance dungeon in the national server is temporarily suspended, then it's actually fair. Everyone can't level up and get equipment. Moreover, if we can open the second floor, we might be able to get new equipment. Lu Yi nodded. Alright, now they could only wait for that guy to finish his challenge. We can only wait. But I'm a little curious. I know all the top teams in our server. Who is it that activated the hidden boss? Another member of the team, Dragon Ascending Jianghu, said. Actually, it's not hard to guess. I heard that there's someone from the foreign server who didn't activate the hidden boss even after 10 minutes. That means that there's only one person who can activate the boss. Who is it? You two are always leveling up and not paying attention to the big events in the game. Who else could it be? Of course it's Nameless. When the challenge ends, I might be able to see him. This boss was very cunning, and its skill cooldown was also surprisingly fast. It did not give Lu Chen any chance to deal damage. Lu Chen was still bleeding from his external wounds. If he was scratched again, half of his health would be gone. I can't let it catch me. At least Lu Chen was clear on this point. He started to move as fast as he could. The ground beneath Lu Chen's feet was rapidly collapsing. Something underground was chasing after him. No, my movement speed is too slow. I'll be caught. Xiao Min, turn invisible. Lu Chen ran, and suddenly disappeared from where he was. Lu Chen didn't know if this method would work, so he could only take a gamble. Hiding in the corner, Lu Chen concentrated on the ground. As soon as there was any movement, he would quickly retreat. However, the thing underground did not seem to be chasing after him. At the same time, Lu Chen's blocked meridians and external bleeding statuses disappeared. Let's see if I can force this guy out. Lu Chen secretly gathered strength and swept Great Ravager. After a while, he released several sword auras into the field. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. 7 to 8 thick sword auras filled the entire central mining area. However, the sword auras did not force the Abyss Zombie out. Instead, Lu Chen was locked onto by the Abyss Zombie after he revealed himself. Damn it, I really can't attack him when he's hiding underground. This time, Xiaomin's invisibility was still on cooldown. Lu Chen only ran a few steps before the thing underground got close to him. Next, that guy would definitely reach out and grab Lu Chen's ankle. Without any movement skills, Lu Chen could not escape at all. Try this. Change skin, headless flying corpse. The headless flying corpse's appearance had two major characteristics. First, it was headless. To be precise, its head was not on the body. Second, it was flying corpse. Its body was slightly suspended in midair. Very quickly, Lu Chen transformed into a headless flying corpse. This transformation directly caused the Abyss Zombie's attack judgment to change. For example, if a flying unit attacked it, its skill would naturally be ineffective against it. As Lu Chen's feet did not touch the ground, the Abyss Zombie determined that he was not a land creature and directly came out of the ground. It came out on its own. Lu Chen said in surprise. He did not expect that the trick he came up with at the last minute would actually work. As long as he could break the opponent's trick, he would not be afraid of it even if he faced it head-on. Damn it, hiding in the ground sneakily and still recovering HP. In a short while, the Abyss zombie recovered 2000 HP, which was much faster than normal HP recovery. One could imagine how terrifying the healer's healing would be if other teams were to defeat this boss. 5000 HP after breaking out of the ground, it would do it again in such a short time. Fortunately, Lu Chen was no longer afraid of this guy. The Abyss zombie's move was called Moving Tombstone. Without this move, Lu Chen's meridians wouldn't be blocked and he wouldn't be bleeding from external injuries. Both sides immediately engaged in hand-to-hand combat. You damned zombie, let's see if you can still die. Lu Chen's sword dealt 6,000 to 7,000 damage, while the opponent's slap only dealt less than 600 damage to Lu Chen. The Zombie King finally had a weakness. Its attack was not too high. During the fight, Lu Chen also touched the Zombie King's attack. Panic was the Zombie King's aura. This was not wrong. External bleeding was indeed caused by throwing collision. However, meridians blocked was not caused by throwing collision. It was more like there was a certain chance of this debuff after being attacked. Therefore, the Zombie King's attack could be understood as a normal attack that had a certain chance of blocking the opponent's meridians. A bit strong. It can reduce speed and silence. Lu Chen coldly snorted, unfortunately, you will still die after encountering me. Fierce Tiger descends the mountain. With a combo of 9 hits, Lu Chen dealt 9,000 plus damage and finally killed the Abyss Zombie King. Killed Abyss Zombie King, level 30 diamond level hidden boss. Obtained 19,000 aura. Obtained 2 rank 6 talent fragments. Obtained 2 evolution points. Ding! Obtained Zombie King Mask, level 30 purple equipment, Soul Subduing Talisman, level 30 purple equipment, Sturdy Mining Uniform, level 20 blue equipment, Zombie King Powder, purple material, Dungeon Recruitment Order, special item, Underground Mine second floor key, opens the second floor of the underground mine. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. This guy dropped a lot of things. However, he was not in a hurry to look at the purple equipment. Instead, he looked at another item. In Jiutian, there was a hidden setting. When a player had a special ability, the corresponding item would be dropped. For example, Lu Chen had the ability to evolve. Therefore, when he fought monsters, he would drop evolution materials, but others would not. Naturally, there were also items that could be obtained by all classes. For example, the ghost pet Xiaomin Lu Chen was not a spirit exorcist, but he could use it. There was also the Ancient Blood and Ancient Fragment. Lu Chen needed them for evolution, but other players could use them as well. Therefore, they would appear in the quest rewards in the Stone Gate world. According to this setting, there was an item that immediately attracted Lu Chen's interest. Dungeon Recruitment Order. Let's see. Chapter 139. Obtained the right to recruit the Abyss Zombie King in the Instance Dungeon. The item really said so. It's really for the Instance Dungeon. Then I can treat this guy as the Instance Dungeon boss. Thinking of this, Lu Chen was in a hurry to return to Benevolence Peak and complete the Instance Dungeon. There are still a few pieces of equipment, let's see what they are like. Zombie King Mask, level 30 purple equipment, Physical Defense, 36, Spiritual Defense, 14, Strength 81, Agility 94, Physique 100, Special Effect, Spirit Gathering Meridian Seal. Normal attacks have a 10% chance of sealing the opponent's meridian circulation, causing a meridian blockage effect. After this effect, the opponent will not be able to use skills for 5 seconds and their movement speed will be reduced by 15%. Stackable, damn, these are the attributes of a level 30 purple equipment? That's too strong, my physique has soared to 3 digits. So the meridian blockage just now was a special effect of the equipment. Lu Chen finally understood. Speaking of which, if that guy uses it, it's definitely not just a chance. The speed reduction effect and the duration are even stronger. It's the same equipment that dropped, alright, the effect might be different if the boss used it or if he used it. Although the attributes aren't as good as the boss, this special effect is still very strong. Once hit, it will be silenced and speed reduced. It's simply a nightmare for those fragile professions. Fragile professions? Lu Chen thought for a while. It seemed that all professions were fragile professions in his eyes now. Lu Chen was still very satisfied with this level 30 purple equipment. The only downside was that he couldn't equip it now. The attributes are pretty good. I'm only a little over level 28 now. It won't take long for me to reach level 30. I'll be able to use it then. The soul-subduing talisman was actually a low yellow level skill for talisman masters. Seeing that he couldn't use it, Lu Chen threw it into his backpack and sold it at the trading area in the future. Level 20 blue equipment. The sturdy miner's uniform had higher attributes than the Shadow Tempest, but Lu Chen preferred the two special effects of the Shadow Tempest and didn't plan to change it. The Zombie King powder was a material that could be used to refine monsters, carve talismans, etc. He threw it into his backpack. The last one was the second level key. Click to use, activate the second level of the underground mines, level 25, level 25. That's too low. I'm not going to fight today. I'm going back to do my dungeon. After tapping the key, Lu Chen immediately exited the instance dungeon. All the players in the server received a push notification from the system at the same time. The Abyssal Corpse King guarding the underground mine, level 20, has been killed. The Abyssal Mine, level 25, has officially opened. In Area 122, the players who were surrounding the underground mine were waiting for the dungeon to reopen. When they received the message, they immediately started discussing. Damn, Nameless is really strong. He soloed the underground mine and even killed the hidden boss. Is there a dungeon that he can't clear? Can we go to the Abyss Mines? Of course not. It's a level 25 instance dungeon. Who can do it now? This mine is actually so deep. There can't be another 3 or 4 levels, right? Then where does it lead to? Lu Yi also saw this message at this time. She suddenly had an indescribable feeling. We fought so hard for so long, yet that Nameless cleared it so easily. He even defeated the hidden boss. What kind of stats does he have? Little May smiled and said, You think you're the only one who knows? Everyone wants to know. Right, he's coming out soon. Just in time to see this legendary war god of Huaxia. Little May pulled Lu Yi and rushed to the entrance of the cave with the crowd. The crowd had already surrounded the entrance of the cave. A white light flashed and everyone stared at the light circle at the entrance of the dungeon. However, after the white light passed, there was no one inside. Where is he? Why, didn't anything appear? Where's Bro Nameless? What's going on? Is there a bug? Did he get any new equipment? Lu Chen was standing in the center of the light circle. Unfortunately, the others could not see him. Because he was invisible. He already knew that a group of people was blocking him at the entrance. It was better to avoid so many people if he wanted to return to the territory as soon as possible. Just as Lu Chen was about to leave, he saw the silly girl in the crowd. She was stretching her neck and looking at the light circle with a puzzled expression. Lu Chen stopped and sneaked in front of Lu Yi. Huh, you can't see me, right? This girl's equipment was pretty good now. The dark gold sword was probably the best weapon outside of the core of the team. She had 2 pieces of Tiger King equipment and a mining uniform. The mining uniform had high attributes and a special effect that increased strength for a period of time. For normal players, it was more useful than Windstorm and Night Demon. It could help them clear dungeons, so many people would choose this blue equipment. What's this silly girl's level? Lu Chen could not see her level. After thinking about it, he lowered the ratio of strength to the lowest and secretly hit her. Seeing her health drop, he could see her upper health. This way, he could deduce her level. Who knew that the sneaky hit would have serious consequences? -14, -617, poisoned, -617, poisoned, -88, triple critical hit, -617, poisoned, -617, poisoned. In a moment of carelessness, Lu Chen dealt 2,500 damage to Louis. Fuck. It was a triple critical hit. Her health dropped by half. Lu Yi's HP was dropping rapidly. Aya, who hit me? The silly girl did not know that she was poisoned by the 7-step poison. She was still looking around to see who was attacking her. Lu Chen's damage was the initial damage. There was more to come. -617, poisoned, -678, poisoned, -617, poisoned, -740, poisoned. Lu Chen was on the verge of collapsing when he saw his HP drop. Fuck, don't drop anymore. Don't drop anymore. He wanted to tell the silly girl to stop moving. Every time she moved, her damage would increase by 10%. Actually, even without that 10%, Louis could not take it. 3 seconds later, Louis died. Fuck. No. Louis. Sister. Lu Chen was so scared that his face was distorted. He almost caught up with the Abyss Zombie King. He killed Louis. If Louis knew about this, he would be dead for sure. Little May quickly picked up the equipment that Louis dropped. What happened? Why did she suddenly die? Who is it? Who is attacking? Lu Chen looked at the angry members of Lu Yi's team in horror. He could not stay here any longer. He had to run. After running to a place where there was no one, Lu Chen's stealth time was up. Letting out a long sigh of relief, Lu Chen shivered in fear. I can't let that girl know about this. Otherwise, she will kill me. My dear sister, I really didn't mean it. Fortunately, the equipment was picked up by your friend. Otherwise, I would be dead for sure. Letting out a long sigh, Lu Chen returned to the city and returned to Ren Ai Peak. The dungeon materials were ready. It was time to build his dungeon. Build the dungeon. Position. Block the entrance of Ren Ai Peak. Under Ren Ai Peak, a large number of building materials were quickly assembled. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes and waited patiently. I have to do a good job with my warehouse and synthesis base. Chapter 140. According to Lu Chen's request, the system built it at the foot of Ren Ai Peak. This way, most of the way down Ren Ai Peak would be blocked, making it easier to defend and harder to attack. The 3 idiots collected materials for 10 days, and the system built the dungeon in minutes. In front of a mountain that had just appeared, there was an unstable energy gate. Lu Chen stepped in. There was only one curved passage inside the dungeon. It was not very long, about the same as one of the 3 paths in the Tiger King's cave. There was not a single monster inside. At the end of the passage was a relatively empty area. It should be the boss room. This is my dungeon. Lu Chen was a little excited. He had never had his own dungeon in a public game. There are no monsters here. It seems that I have to set it myself. Lu Chen opened the operation panel and opened the Personal Dungeon option. A big menu popped up. Dungeon, Solipsistic Personal Dungeon, Dungeon Scale, Single Dungeon, Level 2 Army Hall required to upgrade, Dungeon Entry Requirement, Not Set, Dungeon Level, Level 10, Upgradable, Dungeon Unit Setup, Not Set, Player Dungeon Profit, 1, 8:2, 2x, Dungeon Hidden Boss, None, Dungeon Soul Essence Condensation Ratio, 1/10,000, Death Unit, Dungeon Soul Essence Storage, 0/300000, Dungeon Ranking Establishment, Not Set. It seemed that there were many things that Lu Chen had to set up himself. Lu Chen looked at the dungeon scale first. Single Dungeon, the dungeon area is very small. Player Dungeon Profit is low. Dungeon units are weak. Only one dungeon boss can be set. The highest drop is 2 pieces of blue equipment. Only 1 player is allowed to enter the dungeon at a time. Dungeon spirit energy gathering is slow. Maximum 100,000 challenges per day. Soul essence condensation ratio. Total storage is low. It seemed that there were many factors that affected the dungeon scale. There were even challenge limits. Obviously, from Lu Chen's point of view, the bigger the dungeon scale, the better. However, the dungeon was actually linked to the level of the army hall. Now, Lu Chen's army hall was only level 1. It seemed that it still lacked something to upgrade to level 2. The dungeon scale could not be changed for the time being. If normal players don't have the army hall, doesn't that mean they won't be able to level up even if they have dungeons? Lu Chen gave it some thought. That might not be the case. Back then, he had only been able to create an army because he had established a guild in the wild. It wasn't difficult to fulfill this condition. There were so many players in the world, and perhaps some of them would do the same. Since the scale of the instance dungeon could not be changed for the time being, they would have to look at the instance dungeon entry conditions. There were 4 options. 1. Free entry. 2 copper coins in. 3. Entry is charged. 4. Mixed mode. Seeing this, Lu Chen was shocked. You can charge a fee. Fuck. I'm only in a single-player dungeon now, and the limit for a day's challenge is 100,000. Even if it's just 1 yuan per person, it's still a lot of money. There was nothing special about free entry. Each person could enter 3 times a day for free. The in-game currency was set according to the dungeon scale and level. The system default was that the first entry was free, but the second and third entries would cost 100 copper coins. Furthermore, each person could only challenge the dungeon 3 times a day. Lu Chen looked at the charging mode. Charging mode, in order to maintain the balance of the game, and at the same time to ensure that the manpower and material resources used in designing the dungeon are reported accordingly, the rules are as follows. The first entry is free, but the second and third entries can be set as charging 1 yuan, the amount charged increases with the dungeon's level. Tianqing is quite cautious. He's probably afraid that the players will charge for the dungeon and destroy the game environment. The charging mode still allows 2 free challenges. Even the third time will be very cheap. But even if there are only 60,000 times, that's still 60,000 per day. That's not bad. This was much more stable than farming for equipment. The last option was free. The first entry would be free, the second entry would cost 100 copper coins, and the third entry would cost 1 yuan. Lu Chen thought about it carefully and finally chose the mixed mode. Now, the main way for players to earn money was through the 2 towers. Looking at Tianqing's stingy manner, perhaps the copper coins would be of great use in the future. If it's really useless, I can still sell it in the future. Players need copper coins to level up their professions. Soon, Lu Chen's guess was confirmed. To level up the dungeon, one needed the game currency. However, it was not copper coins, but gold coins. Level 15 requires 10 gold coins. Level 20 requires 50 gold coins. Luckily, I've been to the 2 towers before. Lu Chen looked at his backpack. He now had more than 80 gold coins. Level 15 is too low. I'll level up to 20. After leveling up the dungeon, Lu Chen looked back at the dungeon entry conditions. Under the mixed mode, the first entry was free. The second entry cost 300 copper coins, and the third entry cost 3 yuan. His income had tripled. He could earn 90,000 in a day. Damn, this is definitely not a loss. I'll be able to break even soon. After setting all these, the next step was to set up the dungeon unit. The system actually gave him a brand new model. Because it was a single-player dungeon, the wild monsters would not be too strong. The Swift Leopard had the Tiger Demon's combo attack, the Cave Barbarian's knock on the mountain to scare the tiger could reduce defense, and the Netherblow Willow, the Wisp was all spiritual attack. Leopard. It has low HP. After choosing the wild monster, Lu Chen saw about 50 swift leopards moving back and forth in the tunnel. All of them were level 20. The player's income must be the highest. Otherwise, who would fight it? It would be two times. Let me see, the leopard's EXP is 1760. Damn, the EXP is even higher than the nightmare spirit. It doesn't matter. Players can only fight it 3 times anyway. If it's higher, then so be it. I'll use the abyss zombie for the boss. I'll lower the level to 20 and lower the attributes to 50%. Please choose the dungeon and the boss drops. Wild monsters can drop a maximum of 3 items. Bosses can drop a maximum of 6 items. In the following options, 2 out of 3 for green equipment, 2 out of 3 for blue equipment, and 7 out of 14 for equipment. However, the system specifically mentioned that blue equipment and some rare equipment could only be dropped by bosses. Lu Chen looked at it. For green equipment, he chose leg guards and wrist guards. For blue equipment, he chose necklaces and boots. These 2 equipment were not available at the moment, so they were more attractive. As for equipment, I'll choose a few profession skill books and put them in. They all need these things. I'll just put in a few materials. Leaderboard rewards. I'll put in materials too. After finally completing the dungeon, when Lu Chen looked at his personal dungeon again, the originally empty dungeon was no longer the same. There were swift leopards patrolling back and forth in the tunnel. The distance between them was not large, but if one paid attention to their positioning, they could fight them one by one. In the boss room, the level 20 mini abyss zombie was valiantly walking back and forth, as if it was waiting for players to come. He, it's done. Brothers, we can open for business now. Chapter 141. Lu Chen's dungeon had been completed. With the popularity of Jiutian, Lu Chen did not need any publicity at all. All he had to do was wait for it to blossom. Let's level up to 31st. I want to go to a level 30 main city. After saying that, Lu Chen led Xiao Min into the depths of the forest. 10 minutes later, a small team appeared at the foot of Mount Benevolence. They had the same prefix and were all members of the Stellaris Guild. Why is there a door there? Yeah, I remember this place. The last time I was here, it was said that this place was surrounded by a layer of spiritual shield and couldn't be entered. But this place doesn't have this rock mass. It looks like a dungeon. Let's go take a look. The few of them walked to the dungeon door doubtfully. It's really a dungeon. Damn, we found a hidden dungeon. The team leader, Stellaris Sagittarius, tried to touch the dungeon and a system prompt appeared in his vision. Solipsistic's personal dungeon, level 20, this dungeon is a single-player dungeon. You already have a team and cannot enter. Sagittarius was shocked. Solipsistic's personal dungeon? No way, this dungeon was built by Solipsistic. The others looked at the team leader's confused face and followed him to touch the dungeon door. They also received the same system prompt. Damn, this is a Solipsistic's dungeon. Which Solipsistic? Is he from our guild? How do you all know him? Xiaolon, you don't know Solipsistic. That guy is even more mysterious than Nameless God of War. Yeah, Nameless wasn't famous when he monopolized the trading area at the beginning of the game. I was wondering why Mad God disappeared. It turns out that he had a big move and built his own dungeon. Damn, this is definitely big news. Sagittarius was very nervous. This discovery was very significant and even related to the development of the guild. Inform the team leader immediately and ask them to come quietly. We'll broadcast it. It will definitely increase the guild's popularity. At 7:28 p.m., a guild that wasn't very famous started a live broadcast on the official website. The name of the live broadcast room was very eye-catching. Explosive. District 122 Star River Association has discovered a brand new dungeon. Traces of the Mad God have been discovered. These two posts instantly caused the popularity of the live stream to skyrocket. A large number of players flooded into the live stream, wanting to know more about the situation. The Star River Association was also very cunning. At the start, they even hid the exact coordinates of the dungeon and started a live broadcast of the dungeon clearing. Newcomer, don't be anxious. We'll start streaming this dungeon immediately. Right now, our Talisman Formation Master is using the buff. I'll give the view to our leader and let him show everyone the entire process of this exploration. The Star River Emperor had already made his preparations. He had used all the buffs and potions he could. The live stream was in chaos. It's really a new dungeon. Where is this? Where is Mad God? Didn't you say you found Mad God? What a clickbait. Mad God has disappeared for so long, how could he suddenly appear again? District 122 has a nameless brother. How could Mad God be in this server? The Star River Emperor didn't care about these comments. After everything was ready, he took a deep breath and touched the door of the dungeon. Don't say we're clickbait. Look at the name of the dungeon. Solipsistic Personal Dungeon. Seeing this name, the live stream instantly exploded. Damn, this. Wait a minute, what's a personal dungeon? This dungeon is solipsistics? Is this Mad God's ID? Yes, it's Mad God. Other fakes have all sorts of symbols, but Mad God's ID doesn't have any symbols. Fuck, Mad God has disappeared for so long, and he actually created a personal dungeon. Mad God is going to make a comeback. Let's go in and see what it's like. I've never heard of a personal dungeon before. The Star River Emperor glanced at the comments. As expected, the direction of the discussion had changed. Now, the fans couldn't wait to see him create a new dungeon. The number of viewers in the live stream had already reached 8 million. In the future, the Star River Emperor could be considered a guild with a name. Everyone, look, this is a personal dungeon. You can't enter it when you're in a party. Alright, I'll enter the dungeon now. I've never seen the monsters here before. They're all swift leopards, level 20 dungeon monsters. I wonder what the rewards are like. The Star River Emperor tried to kill one. The process wasn't too difficult. He also had a buff, so he was able to kill it with only half of his health left. Killed Swift Leopard, level 20 elite, captured 1760 Heaven and Earth aura, extracted 1 aura. Ding, obtained Beast Bone *2, fuck, did you guys see that? 1760 experience. The Star River Emperor was a little anxious. The monsters here aren't hard to kill, but the experience is really high. Did you guys see my experience bar? It clearly moved just now. The drops are also pretty good. The first one dropped a Beast Bone. This is a material for leveling up the Puppeteer class. It's not available anywhere else. ESD Xiaoyao and the others were also watching the live broadcast. Discovering a new dungeon was even more important for professional guilds like them. They had to pay attention. 1760 experience, this is even higher than the underground mine. Yeah, the most important thing is that this monster can be cleared by a single person. If one person can enjoy the experience alone, leveling up would be too awesome. The drop rate is also pretty good. The Star River Emperor killed 3 monsters and dropped 2 class materials. Where is this dungeon? There were a total of 50 normal monsters. The Star River Emperor took about half an hour to clear them all, and his experience had risen to 87,500 points. There's one more boss. Abyss Zombie King. Level 20, let me see if I can defeat it. This Abyss Zombie King had been weakened a lot by Lu Chen. It was only level 20, and its 3D was directly reduced by half. However, the Star River Emperor still had a hard time fighting it. It took him 3 revivals to defeat it. Killed Abyss Zombie King, level 20 single-player dungeon boss, captured 4800 aura of all things. Obtained item, 100 Beasts Necklace, level 20 blue, obtained item, Crystal of Prophecy, yellow level skill of the Prophet, obtained Beast Tooth *2, obtained Beast Skin *3. The Star River Emperor could no longer remain calm. Fuck, it's a blue necklace. Comrades, it's a blue necklace. There's even a yellow level skill of the Prophet. This is a skill dropped by a boss. Over 90,000 experience points, a blue necklace, and a class book. This dungeon is too awesome. The Star River Emperor quickly exited the dungeon and clicked on it again. This dungeon didn't have a reset time, but this time, he had to pay 300 copper coins. The second time requires 300 copper coins. No problem, this amount of money is nothing. The Star River Emperor was excitedly clearing the dungeon. But when he was resting, he glanced at the live stream and discovered that the number of viewers in the live stream was like an avalanche. Everyone had fled. At the same time, in the wilderness of each district, a large number of players appeared. Thunderous Heavens was currently organizing members to sweep the map, looking for the dungeon that had just appeared. The Star River Association was too sneaky. They still hadn't revealed the dungeon's coordinates. They couldn't wait any longer. Mad God's dungeon? Where is it? It should be around here. The background of the Star River Emperor's livestream is here. We've already explored this area. Thunderstorm was suddenly stunned. If this is Mad God's personal dungeon, then it's possible that it only exists in District 122. This dungeon will definitely cause a huge commotion in the entire server. We have to find the dungeon's location quickly. Inform all the guild leaders to change their IP and enter District 122. Chapter 142. When the Thunder Guild gathered and rushed to District 122, they found that it was already crowded with people. In Huaxia, they had to face the reality that no matter how good you were, there would always be a group of people ahead of you. This was great. They didn't even have to look for the dungeon location. Wherever there were more people, the dungeon would be there. Total number of dungeon challenges today, 1699/100000. This dungeon actually had a limit on the number of challenges. This was even worse. One dungeon gave 90,000 experience, and it also dropped a blue necklace and a class book. The benefits were too good. With such tempting benefits on the other side, there was already some chaos in front of the dungeon. Everyone present was squeezing towards the dungeon. 300 copper coins for the second time. Don't even think about it, spend it. 3 renminbi for the third time. Spend it as if it didn't cost money. Are you going in or not? If not, make way. Whoever dares to take advantage of me, don't blame me for being rude. Why are people from other servers here? Aren't the officials going to do something about it? District 122 is so crowded. Can't you guys go back to your own district to play? The players in District 122 were also depressed. Many guilds from other districts suddenly appeared around them. The key was that many top guilds also came to join in the fun. This also caused them to be angry but not dare to say anything. Lu Chen passed by the stone door again. The pitiful little ghost girl was no longer there. She was now floating behind him, so the stone door mission was naturally gone. Farming ghosts? Forget it, I'm about to throw up. I'll find other monsters to farm. At this moment, Lu Chen found that the dungeon options kept jumping. Lu Chen immediately opened the dungeon information. As soon as he opened it, a long string of messages instantly filled the message box. 1943-03, you have received 300 copper coins, 2027-22, you have received 300 copper coins, 2027-22, you have received 3 renminbi. It has been transferred to your bound agricultural bank savings card. 2027-22, you have received 300 copper coins, 2027-23, you have received 3 renminbi. It has been transferred to your bound agricultural bank savings card. The number of messages was so shocking that it was impossible to check. Lu Chen could only look for the total data from the dungeon interface. Today's dungeon challenge times, 47741/100000, free challenge times, 20,113, 15,325 copper coins challenge, total income, 459 gold, 75 silver coins, challenge fee, 12,303 times, income, 36,909 yuan. Dungeon Soul Essence Reserve, 268/300000, the number of challenges was still jumping crazily. Every time it jumped by more than 10 or 20 times, it was even more terrifying than a stopwatch. Damn, that's fast. Lu Chen was overjoyed. He had only built the instance dungeon for less than an hour, and he was already making money. As long as the instance dungeon was active, Lu Chen could earn a large sum of money every day. He was simply lying down to earn money and earn resources. In addition, Lu Chen was most concerned about the soul essence. This was the reward he looked forward to the most when he built the instance dungeon. Currently, the rate at which the spirit essence was increasing was not fast. However, one had to know that the current instance dungeon was the most basic single-player instance dungeon. The number of instance dungeon monsters that could be accommodated was still very small. At this rate, I should be able to obtain an additional 600 soul essences a day, which should be enough to form a stable income. As long as the instance dungeon is there, I don't need to pay for equipment, gold coins, money, and soul essences. This is a good deal, Lu Chen said with satisfaction. Originally, Lu Chen built the instance dungeon for fun. Judging from the current income, it seemed that he could spend some EXP on the instance dungeon. Lu Chen opened the Legion option and studied it carefully. Level 2 Legion hull requires a Level 2 soul source, materials, and 20 subordinates. 20 subordinates requires a lot of reputation. It would be great if I could find a place that drops 7-star materials. A 7-star material could sell for 1 million reputation, which should be enough to support his expenses. As he spoke, Lu Chen actually walked out of the mass graves. There were 2 roads in front of him. Lu Chen went to look at the road signs. The east led to Divine Beast Mountain, and the west led to the main road. It seemed that after crossing 2 mountains, he would reach a level 30 main city. With Lu Chen's current strength, going to a level 30 main city was no problem at all. However, the Divine Beast Mountain on the other side immediately attracted his attention. Divine Beast Mountain? There won't be any divine beasts there, right? Lu Chen had only collected 1 ultimate divine beast and 1 ultimate vicious beast. There must be many divine beasts outside. Let's go take a look. Not long after, Lu Chen found that there was only 1 road in front of him, leading to a huge mountain peak. The mountain path was paved with steps, and on both sides of the steps stood various divine beast statues. Qilin, Taowu, 4 great vicious beasts, Bays, 9-tailed fox, Kuan, hellhound, and many others that even Lu Chen couldn't name. Walking all the way to the top of the mountain, Lu Chen appeared in front of a simple farmhouse courtyard. An old man was leisurely cleaning the courtyard. A rhubarb dog was lying in the courtyard, yawning lazily. Seeing someone come, the old man put down the broom in his hand and smiled at Lu Chen. "Hello, young man." Lu Chen nodded. "Hello, old man. This guy is obviously an NPC. Living here alone, he must be extraordinary. I wonder if there's a mission. You must be tired after such a long journey. If you don't mind, come in and have a cup of tea and rest." Lu Chen didn't hesitate. He pushed open the fence and came into the small courtyard. The old man poured 2 cups of tea and pushed one of them in front of Lu Chen before sitting down. Rhubarb lay at the old man's feet lazily. "Young man, you're the first person to come to my place." Lu Chen didn't know what to say, so he just listened. "How rare. You've already collected 2 ultimate divine beasts. There are only 4 in the 100-beast mountain, and you've collected 2 by yourself. Each divine beast is extremely difficult to obtain, not to mention the ultimate divine beasts. It's even more difficult." When Lu Chen heard this, it wasn't strange that the NPC knew that he had 2 ultimate divine beasts. What was strange was that he actually said that there were 2 more ultimate divine beasts in the 100-beast mountain. He immediately asked, "Old man, you said that there are two more ultimate divine beasts in the 100-Beast Mountain? Do you know where they are? The old man looked at Lu Chen and smiled. Didn't you get 2 keys? One of them is related to one of these 2 keys. Lu Chen had the secret room of the Revenant's door and the key to the 2nd floor of the underground mine. He didn't know which key the old man was talking about. Old man, can you be more specific? The old man smiled. I'll stop here. If I tell you everything, won't you miss out on the fun of exploring Jiutian? Seeing that the old man wasn't willing to go into detail, Lu Chen could only give up for now. But at least he knew that there was one more divine beast. It was either in the Revenant's door or in the depths of the underground mine. Right, old man, you said that there are 4 divine beasts in the 100-Beast Mountain. Where is the other one? Can you tell me? The old man took a sip of tea and suddenly said, I don't have much time left. Lu Chen frowned. Why was the old man saying something that didn't make sense? Young man, can you help me take care of rhubarb? Lu Chen blinked and looked at the lazy rhubarb lying at the old man's feet. This is a mission. Or, is rhubarb a divine beast? It can't be that easy for me to get it. Chapter 143. The old man laughed. Rhubarb is just an ordinary hunting dog. Anyway, the NPCs in Jiutian were all weird. This old man was even weirder than Xiaomin. Lu Chen only knew that the old man was definitely not an ordinary NPC, but he did not know if he had a mission for him. Lu Chen thought about it. At least the old man had given him some useful information. From this point alone, it did not matter if he helped the old man. Old man, I can help you take care of it. The old man looked at Lu Chen even more kindly. Okay, thank you, little brother. A message suddenly popped up from the system. Hidden mission, Immortal Fate, completed, reward, Ancient Fragment X1, Ancient Heart X1, WTF. Lu Chen opened his backpack in disbelief. There was an ancient fragment and an ancient heart in his backpack. This works too. Lu Chen widened his eyes and looked at the old man in front of him in shock. This guy was an immortal. Wait a minute, this mission was a little interesting. It did not tell him anything at the beginning and only told him after he completed it. If he did not help the old man take care of rhubarb, or did not even come in to drink tea, this mission would not be available. Moreover, it seemed that only the person with the highest level would be here first. Therefore, this mission was not available to ordinary people at all. Thank you for taking care of rhubarb for me. That is my gift to you, the old man said with a smile. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. He could get ancient materials just by chatting. Then, he planned to have a long talk with the old man. They would talk until the end of time. However, before Lu Chen could find a topic to talk about, the old man stood up and said, I should go. Little brother, you and I are fated. Let me give you a word of advice. You must remember it well. Lu Chen was a little disappointed. It seemed that his wish of getting more ancient materials was going to be dashed. Old man, please go ahead. Mad God and Nameless. You can become Mad God, but you can also become Nameless. After the old man finished speaking, he suddenly turned into a white light and shot into the sky, disappearing in an instant. Only a stunned Lu Chen and Rhubarb were left looking up at the sky. Woo woo. Rhubarb whimpered softly. Its head was lying by his feet, it seemed to be in low spirits. However, Lu Chen was still in a daze. Mad God. Nameless. Others did not know that these two people were Lu Chen, but it was not surprising that the NPCs knew. However, since he already knew, what was the difference between the two? Mad God and Nameless? Is there a difference? Isn't it me? I don't know what this sentence. Lu Chen looked at the tea in front of him and drank it in one gulp. Drinking the loose immortal tea, spiritual energy increased by 50 points. PFFF. Lu Chen almost spat out the immortal tea. Fortunately, he forcefully held it back and swallowed it back. 50 had 50 Nameless. He only had 68 points of spiritual energy, so he couldn't afford to waste them. Not only could he not waste it, but he also had to check if there was any left in the teapot. As a result, Lu Chen lifted the teapot. It was empty. Well, I didn't expect there to be such a mission here. I almost missed it. Lu Chen shook his head. There were still 2 mythical beasts in the 100-Beast Mountain. One was in the Gate of the Dead or in the underground mine. The other one was a little difficult to find. It might be in an undiscovered dungeon or secret realm. The appearance of a mythical beast will definitely cause a huge commotion. I don't need to waste time wandering around. Lu Chen thought for a while and said, let's evolve first. There was no one else around. Lu Chen took off his human skin. From the crack behind him, a terrifying creature about 4 meters tall slowly revealed its original form. Lu Chen's appearance scared Xiao Min to tears last time. However, Rhubarb only raised its head to take a look. It actually continued to lower its head and did not take it seriously. Increase star level, increase talent. Undead bloodline. After 2 rays of golden light, Lu Chen's new attributes were generated. Quality, 5 star, 2-stage increase in 3 dimensions by 550%, 0/320, 5-star quality, 0 of 1, primordial heart, level, 28, upgrade progress, 110440/60000000, physical strength, strength, 821, basic 533 plus equipment 181 plus title 107, agility, 753, basic 533 plus equipment 220, physique, 783, basic 533 plus equipment 197 plus title 53, spiritual strength, 118, elixir 118, 78/11800, pure spiritual energy, physical attack, 1028 to 1044 poison attack, 10, defense, physical defense. 543, basic 266 plus equipment 223 plus title 54, spiritual defense, 24, health, 21632, basic 13860 plus equipment 3940 plus title 3832, physical attack, 1000, defense, 500, health, 22,000. Humph, my attributes have increased again. Lu Chen nodded in satisfaction. The reward this time came too easily. He looked at Rhubarb and said, Rhubarb, you will stay in my territory from now on and help me guard the house. Rhubarb stood up reluctantly, shook off the dust on its body, and walked to Lu Chen's feet. In Lu Chen's pet column, there was an additional Rhubarb. Lu Chen glanced at Rhubarb's attributes. Pet, Rhubarb, white, age, 202 years old, young, physical strength, 28, agility, 24, physique, 30, defense, physical defense, 14, health, 600, talent, super sense of smell, can smell danger within a 600-meter range, damn, at your age. Aren't you too willful? 202 years old. And you're still a young one. Lu Chen was stunned. But your 3D is a bit low. You won't be bullied by the 10 beasts, right? I have to warn them. Speaking of which, since you have the super sense of smell talent, do you know where the other mythical beast is? Lu Chen asked. Lu Chen was just asking casually. After all, the old man said that Rhubarb was just an ordinary dog. But who knew that Rhubarb would actually wag its tail, looking very excited? You know? Lu Chen asked in surprise. Rhubarb nodded. Lu Chen suddenly widened his eyes. Where? Rhubarb barked twice, and Lu Chen's system automatically showed the meaning that Rhubarb wanted to express. The system only showed 2 words, but when Lu Chen saw these 2 words, he suddenly frowned. No way, it's all in. At this moment, the 2 words Lu Chen saw in front of him were clearly Celestial Mountain. Lu Chen had been to Celestial Mountain a few times, so he was very familiar with the area. The main city of Celestial Mountain was built on the mountain. There were shops in the main city, a gathering place for professionals, the twin towers of Celestial Mountain, and a lake called Stormy Pond. On the side of Celestial Mountain's main city, there were some small peaks. These small peaks were the headquarters of the various large guilds. Strange, I've been there a few times, but I haven't seen any mythical beasts. Mythical beasts can't be in a guild's territory. Lu Chen pondered. Wait. When I first established the army, the game mentioned that I didn't rely on the protection of Celestial Mountain and set up my own guild. This activated the territory quest. In other words, Celestial Mountain is actually very strong. Celestial Mountain does have some soldiers, all level 50 elites, but there aren't many, only 300 to 400. With such a defensive force, could they protect the entire Celestial Mountain, such a large area, and so many guilds? Lu Chen felt that it was a little dangerous. Jiutian had a wild monster ecosystem. Celestial Mountain covered such a large area, but no wild monster dared to take half a step into the minefield. Why was that? Could it be that this mythical beast is very likely to be the guardian of Celestial Mountain? Is it the true guardian of Celestial Mountain? Thinking of this, Lu Chen suddenly felt an unprecedented pressure. To obtain that mythical beast, didn't that mean he had to destroy Celestial Mountain? Shit, can this game still be played? What bullshit divine blood demonic seed quest? Lu Chen said frantically. Is this a quest that can be completed by humans? Chapter 144. The dungeon's daily limit was reached very quickly. Outside the dungeon, many people shook their heads and sighed. Tiger King is only 50,000 EXP, Underground Mine is 60,000 EXP, and this dungeon is 90,000 EXP. It's a loss if we miss out. Why is it only in District 122? Mad God is in District 122 too. Why can't they get one in our district too? Don't you think it's interesting? Mad God and Nameless are both in District 122. I think Mad God can't stand Nameless being in the limelight. He's finally making a comeback. This topic had become a hot topic in the gaming forums. Mad God and Nameless, who is stronger? There were all kinds of analysis posts on the forums. I think Nameless is stronger. What does Mad God have? Isn't he just selling equipment? Has anyone seen him in real combat? No. But I think everyone has seen Nameless in real combat. A few of my professional gamers said Nameless skills are pretty good. Don't forget, when Mad God became famous, Nameless was nameless. Anyone with good equipment can fight, but Nameless can build a personal dungeon? That's a completely different level of suppression. Previous poster, if I gave you the same set of equipment, you'd still be beaten to a pulp. Many people can't understand Nameless' skills. His awareness, positioning, prediction, and mentality are all top-notch. How could Mad God be compared to John Doe just because he built a dungeon? What a joke. Mad God and Nameless both had their own fans and haters. Neither side could convince the other. Both sides seemed to be looking forward to a face-off between the most mysterious player, Mad God, and God of War, Nameless. On the other hand, due to the appearance of Solipsistic's personal dungeon in District 122, there was a sudden surge in the number of players. Due to the Jiutian rule that players could not change their IP after killing a boss within 12 hours, many people might be stuck in District 122 for a long time. District 122 had somehow become the most crowded server in the country. It was a good thing that the big guilds still had to keep the records of their original servers, such as the records of the two towers and guild resources. They wouldn't move the entire server. That way, they wouldn't have any conflict of interest with the native guilds in Section 122. Everyone would just be grinding dungeons and leveling up, so it didn't seem to affect them too much. However, for the Soaring Dragon Guild, this was an opportunity to increase their fame. The guild's internal PK competition that was originally scheduled for the next day was bound to be seen by even more people. For this reason, Soaring Dragon changed the time and location of the competition, preparing to postpone it to 2 days later and spend a lot of money to hold a large-scale PK competition. The rules of the competition had also changed. Every member of the 3 major guilds needed to team up with another non-guild non-professional player to PK in pairs. At this stage, almost all of the main forces and reserve forces of the various large guilds had entered the Celestial Mountain main city. Then, it was time to expand the scale of the guild and recruit external members. This PK competition was the best opportunity for that. As for the location of the PK competition, it was arranged to be at the 72 Heavenly Flame Pillars martial arts practice field in the inner city of the Immortal Mountain. The martial arts practice field was located next to the Stormy Pond. Pillars of light would shoot out from the ground at any time. The damage of these pillars of light was off the charts. As long as one was hit, a -10,000 would appear above their head and they would be killed instantly. The location and time of the eruption of the Heavenly Flame Pillars was random. Players only had 1 second to dodge. In this competition, the players' reactions, positioning, and ability to make good use of external conditions were all extremely harsh challenges. Is the live stream ready? Soaring Dragon's management was still inquiring about matters related to the PK competition. We spent 20 gold coins to rent the martial arts practice field this time, so the publicity effect must be made known. Director Liu, our 3 streamers are ready. In addition, we have invited Feng Lingzi and Xiao Ming to live stream this competition. Both of their popularity has been in the official top 5 for a long time. Of course I know. When can we cultivate such streamers? Okay, inform everyone. In 30 minutes, we will have a preparation meeting. Okay. Lu Yi and Xiao Mei sat at the back of the large conference room, looking at Director Liu. The guild leader was speaking on the stage. So, this time, especially the members of the reserve team, as long as you can defeat the members of the main team, you will be qualified to join the main team. Director Liu said. Soaring Dragon added, because it is a 2v2, other than your own strength, the strength of your teammates is also very important. Call on those friends with strong skills around you. That way, your chances of winning will be higher. In addition, if you have nothing to do, you should also recommend our guild to your friends. Now that the competition between guilds is getting more and more intense, there is strength in numbers. We also need to expand our guild and recruit some capable new members. Director Liu said, how about this, if everyone recruits a qualified new member, we will reward 500 yuan. Lu Yi and Xiao Mei looked at each other and suddenly widened their eyes. 500 yuan for one person. The company was so rich now. After the meeting, Xiao Mei and Lu Yi went to the lounge to chat. Xiao Mei, do you have someone in mind? I want to call my brother, but I don't know if he is willing to join our guild. What about you? My brother will probably come. Anyway, he is playing alone. If he joins the guild, I can protect him. Lu Yi said proudly. She seemed to be very happy when she thought of Lu Chen following behind her for protection. However, Lu Yi thought about it. Her brother had recently earned a lot of money. Perhaps he did not have much time to play the game. I just don't know if our guild wants him. I am afraid his level is too low. What is your brother's level? I am not too sure. His skills are very good, but he seems to be playing casually. Who cares? Anyway, let's recruit him first. If he sneaks in, let's earn 500 yuan first. Okay. Lu Chen was rushing. He did not expect a level 30 main city to be so far away. Although he knew the whereabouts of the other 2 mythical beasts, Lu Chen was very clear. Previously, he did not fight mythical beasts, but the remnant souls of mythical beasts. This time, he did not know what form the 2 mythical beasts were in. If they were the real bodies of the mythical beasts, he would definitely not be able to defeat them. Moreover, one of them had destroyed the main city of the Celestial Mountain. This was not a simple matter. He had to increase his strength first. When can I get a mount? Lu Chen complained. Xiao Min, have you been to a level 30 main city? Boss, I have never left the mass grave before. Lu Chen smiled. That's true. Rhubarb, what about you? After Rhubarb told Lu Chen that there were mythical beasts in the Celestial Mountain, Lu Chen could not leave Rhubarb alone in the territory. Perhaps there would be unexpected surprises by bringing him along. Woof woof. You have been there. The system helped Lu Chen translate Rhubarb's prophecy. Woof woof woof. What? I will be abused like a dog if I go there now. Impossible. Wait, aren't you a dog? You are disrespecting yourself too much. Woof woof woof. TSK, I don't believe you. You probably don't know your boss's strength. After walking for an unknown period of time, Lu Chen finally saw the road sign in front of him. This was a fork in the road. The road in the middle led to the level 30 main city, Firmament City. The road on the left led to Fiend City. The road on the right led to 3 areas, Moon-worshipping Blood Pool, Breaking Head Cliff, and Ancient Battlefield. Lu Chen looked up. The direction of the main city was shrouded in fog. The direction of Fiend City was covered in layers of fog. The direction of Moon-worshipping Blood Pool was filled with the faint sound of wind and cranes. Where should I go first? Chapter 145. Just as Lu Chen was hesitating, the communication window showed that his younger sister, Lu Yi, was calling him. Connect. Brother, where are you? I'm in Jiutian. Hey, when are you coming home? How long have you not been home? Hurry up and clean up your trash. The silly girl had grown up, and Lu Chen could not casually touch her things. After Lu Yi cleaned up her things, they could move to their new home. I haven't had time recently. I'm in the main force. Brother, where are you in Jiutian? I'll go find you and help you level up. I'm wandering around. No, why are you looking for me? Brother, can you accompany me in a guild PK competition the day after tomorrow? Ah. I'm not part of your guild. Louis briefly explained the new rules of the company. Finally, she said, Brother, although your level is not high, I have absolute confidence in your skills. So, accompany me in a team PK. Lu Chen was currently concerned about another problem. Your competition location is next to the Stormy Pond? Yes, it's the 72 Sky Flame Pillars training ground. I spent 20 gold to rent it. Lu Chen thought for a moment. Didn't he want to investigate the strength of the Celestial Mountain's mythical beast? He had to take care of his younger sister's matters. Since he could also investigate the Celestial Mountain's mythical beast, Lu Chen decided on the spot. Okay, but I'll make it clear first. When the time comes, I can only guarantee that I won't die. You'll do the fighting and killing. You're all professionals. I'm scared. I know, brother. Look at how scared you are. Okay, since you don't want me to help you level up, I'll go with Little May and the others to clear instance dungeons. After hanging up, Lu Chen thought for a moment. When the time came, he would adjust the attribute ratio. The key was to see if he could figure out the mythical beast. It was still early for the day after tomorrow, so Lu Chen decided to explore the map first. Let's go to the moon-worshipping blood pool first. The ancient battlefield. I wonder if there are any ancient materials. Although Lu Chen didn't believe Rhubarb's reminder, he didn't completely ignore it. As the saying goes, when a man achieves the Tao, even his chickens and dogs will ascend to heaven. Rhubarb was following the old man, and every time the Jiutian jumped to a new map, the difficulty would increase exponentially. It was likely that the new maps would not be easy to explore. Xiao Min, possess. Rhubarb, go to the beast pen first. After putting away the 2 pets, Lu Chen glanced at the road on the right, took a deep breath, and walked over. After walking for 7 or 8 minutes, the smell of blood in the air became stronger and stronger. Lu Chen suddenly realized that his HP was slowly decreasing. Fuck, did I get hit by a debuff? Lu Chen checked his status. Blood poison, inflicts 0.5% of maximum HP damage every second. This damage is called life removal effect. Defense is ineffective. So domineering. The surrounding fog gradually turned red, and the smell of blood became stronger and stronger. Not long after, a huge red lake appeared in front of Lu Chen. The lake's surface was suffused with fog, and the red lake water was like blood. Fuck, it's a little scary. Beside the lake, there was a stone tablet. Moon-worshipping blood pool, 1,000-man cave, 10,000-man pool, flesh to mud, blood to the moon. It can't be, right? This lake is filled with blood? Lu Chen was shocked. How much blood would be needed to fill such a huge lake? Alright, I was wrong. The developers of Tianheng are definitely sick. As he spoke, Lu Chen had already unsheathed Tiger Weep from his back. This place was clearly not a map where one could stroll around and admire the scenery. Just the scenery was already so terrifying, so the monsters must be even more terrifying. Lu Chen stepped into the moon-worshipping blood pool. However, to his surprise, the monsters here were actually humanoid monsters. Enemy invasion. A man in a red robe shouted, and several people suddenly appeared around him. Fuck, they're calling for companions? Blood sacrifice, blood skeletons. The disciples of moon-worshipping cult invoked their techniques and summoned their pets. More than a dozen red skeletons rose from the lake's surface, and they were all over 2 meters tall. They quickly walked to their master's side from the lake's surface and immediately surrounded Lu Chen. They're all spiritualists? The difference between a spiritualist and a puppeteer was that one was naturally born while the other was artificially tempered. When a spiritualist's pet attacked, they could also attack. The red skeletons quickly attacked Lu Chen. -74, -73, -69, the skeleton's attack was not low. Lu Chen's physical defense was over 500, and these guys actually managed to hit him. -233, blood poison curse, -231, blood poison curse. Logically speaking, these attacks should not be able to hit him, but Lu Chen discovered that his HP was dropping rapidly. Fuck, what's going on? Lu Chen carefully looked at the source of the damage. The skeleton's attacks were nothing much, and they were all physical attacks. The moon-worshipping sect members only dealt around 200 damage. However, among the many attacks, there was one that was increasing rapidly. Fuck, these guys' blood poison curse can actually stack. Lu Chen finally saw it. His HP debuff was currently dropping at 10.5% of his maximum HP. Losing 10.5% HP in 1 second, who could withstand that? Tiger Roar, Great Ravager Sweep. The moon-worshipping sect members had around 5,000 HP, and they died after 4 or 5 attacks. When their master died, the skeletons also scattered. However, Lu Chen's debuff was still there. Fuck, I'm going to die from the poison. Fortunately, Lu Chen had just stepped into the moon-worshipping blood pool, and he hurriedly retreated from the area. Only then did his debuff begin to disappear layer by layer. When the blood poison curse completely disappeared, Lu Chen only had around 2,000 HP left. Fuck, luckily I didn't go too deep. Otherwise, I would definitely die in there. Lu Chen let out a long sigh of relief. Rhubarb's warning was not groundless. He did not know how big the moon-worshipping blood pool was. It seemed that he would not be able to pass through it for the time being, let alone pass through the guillotine cliff and enter the ancient battlefield that he was most interested in. It seems that it won't be easy to pass through this place. I'll replenish my HP and go to Fiend City to take a look. Fiend City was an abandoned castle. As soon as he stepped into the ruins of Fiend City, a large group of giant monkeys emerged from the surroundings. Blood Fiend Macaque, 3, these monkeys used both their hands and feet to run, and their speed was very fast. It's a new species, I wonder what kind of talent they have. Lu Chen decided to use Great Ravager Sweep to clear out some of them and leave a few behind to test their talent. Tiger Roar, Great Ravager Sweep. The scene of a large number of damage points floating around did not happen as he imagined. Under the cover of the sword aura, the group of Blood Fiend Macaque's figures suddenly became blurry, and they instantly teleported 10 meters away, easily avoiding Lu Chen's Great Ravager Sweep. Seeing this scene, Lu Chen was not disappointed. Instead, his eyes widened. Don't tell me that this is their talent. What Lu Chen lacked now was a movement technique. If he could get this skill, it would be too awesome. Purchase yellow rank technique summary scroll. Use. Invalid target. The opponent did not use any technique. It really is a talent. Lu Chen was instantly energized. Ha ha ha, I can't beat the blood pool, but I can't beat you monkeys. This talent, I want it. Chapter 146. Killed Blood Fiend Macaque, 3. Captured 840 Spiritual Energy. Obtained Rank 2 Talent Fragment 1. Obtained 2-star Quality Point 1. Increased Pure Spiritual Energy by 1. Killed Blood Fiend Macaque, 3. Captured 840 Spiritual Energy. Obtained Rank 2 Talent Fragment 1. Obtained 2-star Quality Point 1. Ding! Obtained item Monkey Tail, X1. Obtained item Spirit Monkey Belt, level 24 green. Damn, even the small monsters can drop green equipment. Lu Chen was surprised. As his level increased, the quality of the items dropped by the wild monsters would also be higher. Lu Chen did not have a belt yet. Although it was a level 24 green equipment, this belt added physical defense and 5 spiritual defense. Some of the basic attributes could be equipped directly. There are quite a lot of macaques here. Their level range is very wide, so I don't have to run around. The experience is okay too. Let's reach level 30 first. The closer he got to the center of Fiend City, the more macaques Lu Chen noticed. It seemed that there were many macaque nests around, and there was an endless stream of them. Come on, come on. The more the better. After another day of farming, Lu Chen finally reached level 30. At level 30, Lu Chen put on the purple mask that he had previously obtained. The surface of the mask was a ferocious ghost face, but the attributes were very high. The key was the special effect Spirit Gathering Vein Seal. It had a 10% chance of silence and speed reduction. Once hit, it would be a nightmare for the brittle. Then Lu Chen checked the reputation store. The number of macaques killed was enough. He could fuse the bloodline and buy a skin. Fuse the bloodline first. Talent Monkey Spirit Bloodline, Rank 2, Rapid Movement. Explodes the potential of the monkey spirit's agility. Move a maximum of 10 meters in 0.5 seconds. While moving, it does not affect other techniques. Cooldown of 120 seconds. Hiss. This displacement skill is quite strong. Lu Chen looked carefully at the talent description. Many games had displacement skills, but while moving, they could not do other things. However, this talent of the monkey spirit bloodline was not a normal displacement skill. It was more like a short burst of movement speed. While moving, it did not affect other techniques. Quite strong. Level up to rank 4. After leveling up, rapid movement became 20 meters in 0.5 seconds. The distance has doubled. Very strong. However, it would be great if there was an ancient era's shard that could bring about a qualitative change. Lu Chen said greedily, damn it, there are too few ancient materials. It would be great if I could complete a few more Immortal Destiny missions. It was obvious that Immortal Destiny missions were not so easy to come by. Lu Chen could only place his hopes on the ancient battlefield and hope that that place would live up to its name. Today's mission had been completed, so Lu Chen prepared to sleep. Just as she lay down, Li Muhua called her. Hey, Brother Chen, you're not in the game. This guy was now calling Lu Chen Big Brother Chen. Speaking of which, who knew who was older? No, I'm tired and ready to sleep. How many people are sleeping in the game now? Forget it. It's better to draw a clear distinction between the game and reality. Alright, you can do whatever you want. By the way, you bought a house previously, right? I helped you hide the information. Thanks. I'm always being stared at like a monkey in the game. I don't want it to be the same in reality. Forgive me for being blunt, but I really can't understand your troubles. By the way, Brother Chen, where did you get the spiritual creature's soul essence that you gave us? I don't know either. I see. Then why didn't you go to the second underground floor? I'll go after a while. The hidden boss there is quite strong. If the second floor also has a hidden boss, I might not be able to beat it. If even you can't beat it. Alright, then let's just go to the first floor. How many minutes do we need to clear the first floor's hidden boss? Within 6 minutes. Pfft. Big brother, pretend I didn't ask. Have a good rest. After hanging up, Lu Chen couldn't help but laugh. This guy Li Muhua seemed to be a military officer and was quite funny in private. Tomorrow was Lu Yi's guild PK. He didn't know how good that silly girl was at PK. He was looking forward to it. The next morning, Lu Chen was woken up by Lu Yi's phone call. Brother, where are you? My guild is PK today. Hearing about Lu Yi's business, he could feel that the silly girl was very nervous. She worked so hard for so long for today. I just woke up. I'm going down to eat breakfast. Oh, then hurry up. I'll wait for you at the Celestial Mountain main city. With his sister's orders, Lu Chen hurriedly got up, washed up, went downstairs for breakfast, bought groceries, and exercised. Once he was done, he logged into the game as soon as he got home. After logging in, Lu Chen saw that his dungeon earnings were full for the day. He earned more than 70,000 renminbi, 600 soul essences, and 800 gold. Don't these people sleep? Lu Chen shook his head. No matter what, Lu Yi was the main character today. Lu Chen went on the trade network and bought a few low-level equipment to change into. He also adjusted his stats to 30% and turned off the Zombie King's mask's purple aura special effect. After tidying up, he rushed to the Celestial Mountain main city. However, once he reached the Celestial Mountain main city, the surrounding players still noticed Lu Chen at a glance. That person is wearing a mask? Brother, where did the mask drop? I think it's pretty cool. How are its stats? Can you show it to us? This equipment naturally couldn't be displayed casually. Once it was displayed, the consequences would be unimaginable if it was a level 30 purple equipment. Bought it from the shop. It has no stats. It's for decoration, Lu Chen said casually. Does the shop sell masks? Yes. It refreshes once every 3 hours. There's a small chance of getting equipment, but it's usually white and has poor stats. However, it's quite interesting to see him wear it. Lu Chen was stunned. The shop really sold masks? Alright, that'd be for the best. The group of people disappeared with a whoosh and all rushed to the sundry goods store. Lu Chen took the opportunity to slip away quickly. From afar, Lu Chen saw Lu Yi anxiously looking left and right. When she saw Lu Chen, she was stunned for a moment until Lu Chen walked in front of her. You don't even recognize your brother? Lu Yi came up and took off Lu Chen's mask. After confirming that it was Lu Chen, she hammered him. Brother, where did you get such an ugly mask? Did you buy it from the sundry goods store? The equipment there is terrible and the price is crazy high. Hiding your ID? You're learning Nameless. Lu Chen chuckled. Don't move. I think this mask is pretty cool. Who would imitate Nameless? That's so trashy. TSK, keep bragging. Lu Yi smiled and put on Lu Chen's mask. Don't spend money on these useless things in the future. A mask only adds a few points of defense. Copper coins will be of great use in the future. Oh, got it, Lu Chen replied honestly. At this time, Little Mei also brought her brother over. Seeing Little Mei's brother, Lu Chen was stunned. Wasn't this his guild's, annotating handsome? Brother handsome, I've heard a lot about you. This is my brother. Lu Yi introduced Lu Chen. My brother used to play, Lu Yi. Lu Chen called out to the silly girl. He didn't want to talk about the past anymore. He reached out his hand and said to Handsome, hello. Handsome looked at Lu Chen strangely and reached out his hand as well. Hello, brother. Where did you get this mask? It's quite interesting, I was lucky. I bought it from the sundry goods store. I saw it and bought it. Lu Chen directly used the words of other players. Haha, you've got quite a personality. If you see it next time, get me one too. Brother. Little May looked at her brother gloomily. Why were all men's hobbies so weird? The competition is about to start. This competition is very important to us. I'll have to trouble you two mask lovers to play well. It seemed that Louis wasn't the only one who was nervous. Everyone in the Soaring Dragon preparatory group was probably nervous. Chapter 147. Many people had come to watch Soaring Dragon's PK today. Soaring Dragon had also done a lot of publicity, so the entire practice field was packed with people. In Jiutian, PvP was still not common. However, everyone understood that the higher one's level was, the more chances there would be to PvP in the future. Soaring Dragon's players were all professional players. Their understanding of the class could give people a lot of inspiration. Spending some time to learn would also save them a lot of trouble. On the stage of the practice field, Soaring Dragon's upper echelons, team leaders, branch team leaders, and the streamers were all standing there. The publicity was effective. The number of spectators today has exceeded our expectations. Yes. This is an event to promote the guild's brand. The bigger the event, the better. Are the team members ready? Director Liu, we're ready. The reserve team can challenge any member of the main team. Director Liu's level was actually quite high. He was level 19, and his in-game ID was Soaring Dragon Old Liu. Soaring Dragon said, Director Liu, the popularity of our live stream rooms has increased. This time, we have to thank Win Chime and Little Ming for their help. Win Chime smiled. Team leader Warsky, you're too polite. The fans also like to watch this kind of event. Director Liu nodded at Win Chime. Then I'll have to trouble you all. Alright, let's not keep the audience waiting. Prepare to activate the 72 Pillars of Flame. The competition will begin immediately. Not long after, circles of marks appeared on the ground of the large training field. A second later, pillars of light shot up into the sky. Each pillar of light lasted for a full 5 seconds. Damn, these are the 72 Pillars of Flame. I think it costs 20 gold to rent one. It's said that one pillar of flame deals 10,000 damage per second. One touch and you'll die. Every time the pillars of flame appear, the time is random. The reaction time is too short. If you fight here, the requirements for both sides' reactions, positioning, and adaptability are all very high. I'm guessing that many people don't die at the hands of their opponents, but at the pillars of flame. There was no doubt about this. However, it was also the existence of the pillars of flame that made the competition even more uncertain. Those with lower levels and equipment might not necessarily lose. Lu Chen stared at the pillars of light. Could the energy source of these things be the Celestial Mountain's mythical beast? If that was the case, then the beast was quite strong. Soon, the competition began. The first to go up was Soaring Dragon Jianghu from Lu Yi's fixed team. He brought his good friend and challenged Soaring Dragon White Clothes and his friend from the third main team. Jianghu, do your best. Lu Yi and Little Mei were cheering for their companions. When the countdown reached 0, both sides quickly approached the center of the arena. Pugilistic World was a sword spirit cultivator. Sword spirits had high damage output, but their bodies were relatively fragile. Therefore, he found a monk friend who could act as a meat shield to protect him from damage. White Cloak was a pugilist, so he was very good at close combat. His friend was an explosives expert, so he was good at long-range AoE attacks. One was near while the other was far away. Not long after, the other party had already entered the attack range of the dragon ascending Jianghu. He immediately used his actual combat skill. Immortal Sword guides the way. A sword chi shot out. You want to hit me when you're so crooked? Ah Chong, cover fire. Force the monk to retreat. White Robe smiled and quickly changed his route. Roger that. 3 cannons. The explosive specialist's cannon was a gift from the class instructor. As long as the equipment was attached to the cannon would inherit the equipment's attributes. At this moment, the explosive specialist fired 3 anti-aircraft cannons at the same time at the monk. Golden light protection. The monk was also a civilian expert. He quickly attacked. His most important task was to prevent White Robe from getting close to his friend. No door to hell. The monk slammed his palm toward the pugilist. The monk and sword spirit's cooperation was quite perfect. The pugilistic world's path of the immortal sword seemed a little off, but with the monk's cooperation, there was an unexpected effect. At this moment, the no door to hell and immortal sword guides the way attacked White Robe at almost the same time, blocking most of his escape routes. But at this moment, a circular mark suddenly flashed under the feet of the monk and the pugilist. Seeing this mark, the 2 of them stopped fighting and retreated at the same time. At this moment, with a bang, a pillar of light shot into the sky. Heavenly flame pillar, death upon contact. The surrounding onlookers were already drenched in cold sweat. Damn, this is so exciting. The monk and sword spirit's cooperation should have been trained. They blocked the pugilist just now, so they should be able to fight. But this sudden move allowed the pugilist to dodge an attack. This depends on luck. It's hard to say. But the monk and the pugilist's reactions are very fast. They were able to react in such an intense battle. They are both experts. Lu Yi and Little Mei looked at each other. It was a pity just now. As long as White Robe did not get close, with the monk's restriction and protection, the sword spirit's damage would definitely be higher than the explosive specialist. But the heavenly flame pillar spoiled the situation. After losing a great opportunity, White Robe seemed to have started to get serious. The pugilistic world and his companions could not use the same method to restrict White Robe. They gradually fell into a disadvantage. In a protracted battle, the explosive specialist's advantage was also shown. The explosion range of the cannon was large and had a continuous ignition effect. On the other hand, it was more difficult for the sword spirit to hit a single target. In addition, the pugilist's equipment was better than the monk's. Although the monk had been holding the pugilist back, he did not have enough HP in the end. After the monk fell, there was no more suspense in the competition. The first round ended. Dragon Ascension Pugilistic World failed the challenge and was unable to enter the main team. Damn, didn't they say they were looking for non-professional players? Do they have to be so strong? I heard that in the professional guilds, the treatment of the main team members and the reserve team members is very different. At this time, who would dare to hide? They all called their best friends. Dragon Ascension will definitely want those 2 players. Louie looked at her brother behind her. She was originally worried that her brother would feel pressured. After all, she had said that he would just be a bystander. But now, it seemed that a 2v2 was really a 2v2. It was impossible for him to be a bystander. In the end, she realized that her brother was no longer behind her. After looking around, she found that guy squatting beside the stormy pond and playing with the water. Lu Chen scooped up a handful of water and sprinkled it on the surface of the water. Hey, the guy inside, can you move? At least let me see which one you are. There were only ripples left on the surface of the lake. Seeing that her brother was not paying attention, Louis felt a little pressured. Her brother still did not know how intense the competition was. Forget it, she would not tell him so that he would not feel burdened. This way, she could only rely on herself. After 5 rounds, it was Little Mei's turn. However, the result of this round was a little unexpected. Ing Jun's control was quite eye-catching. He was practically suppressing the opponent's main team's Sprite Master, making him unable to deal with Little Mei. However, there was a problem on Little Mei's side. With a mistake, the opponent's sword spirit seized the opportunity and ate a complete myriad sword technique. The damage of the myriad sword technique was not a joke. If all 7 swords were used at once, Little May's HP would drop by half in an instant. Even though Ing Jun blocked a few attacks, Little May still died in the end. When she left the stage, Little May was not in a good mood. Her brother's consolation was useless. "Brother, it's all my fault. I'm sorry. Hey, you're my sister. Why are you apologizing to me? It's okay. I'll train you more in the future. We'll definitely win next time." Louis walked over and hugged Little May. "Little May, it's okay. You've already improved a lot. You can definitely do it next time." After a few rounds, no one on Dragon Ascension's side succeeded. Some were even forced to die from the Heavenly Flame Pillar. The strength of the main team is too strong. They're professionals after all. Not only can they avoid the Heavenly Flame Pillar, but they can also use it. That's terrifying. A few of the most powerful ones did not succeed. I suspect that no one will succeed in the challenge. At this moment, the referee announced the next round's name list. Next round, Dragon Ascension E against Dragon Ascension Warhawk. Chapter 148. The Celestial Mountain should also have a protective formation. Lu Chen's mind was now filled with thoughts of how to take down the Celestial Mountain. "Brother, it's my turn." Louis hurriedly ran behind Lu Chen and pulled him into the training field. "Brother, the opponent might be a bit strong. Just hold on for as long as you can. It doesn't matter how you fight. That's what I plan to do too." Lu Yi was originally very nervous, but after hearing Lu Chen's words, she felt both angry and amused. It seemed that her worries were a bit unnecessary. Her brother's heart was very big. Not long after, both sides stood in the training field of the 72 Sky Flame Pillars. Dragon Soaring Warhawk was already a sword spirit cultivator. This was not surprising. Sword spirit, spiritualist, and apothecary were currently the 3 most popular professions. However, his tactics were a bit different from the others. His teammate was also a sword spirit cultivator. Lu Yi was a pugilist. Before the second profession change as an archer, pugilist's main role was to be a tank. As for Lu Chen, he did not have a pet or a crystal ball. If he was not a pugilist, then he was a monk. Interesting, 2 long-range players against 2 close-range players. Won't the long-range players be doomed? What do you know? If it's an open area, it's very annoying to be closed in by close-range players. However, don't forget that there are 72 Sky Flame Pillars here. Under the same level of control, the environment here is unique for long-range players. That Warhawk is their main third team's jungler. Do you think his positioning awareness is bad? TSK, that's not right. I think I know the person that Warhawk is looking for. Who? He seems to be the former captain of the Tianhui squad, 430. Yes, that's him. I've seen his interview. What the hell is the Tianhui squad? It's a very complicated shooting game in the past. The Tianhui squad was the absolute king of that game, and 430 was the absolute core of the Tianhui squad. In the international arena, 430 repeatedly played a good show of 1v5. Don't you think that's ruthless? You're talking about Grim Reaper? Yes, 430 is also known as Grim Reaper. This discovery immediately caused an uproar among the surrounding players. If this was an ordinary online game, a shooter wouldn't have caused such a stir. However, Jiutian was different. Jiutian's skills required a lot of prediction. In shooting games, apart from marksmanship, prediction was even more crucial. In the blink of an eye, I've already locked onto your next position. Shoot, headshot. Perhaps this was the reason why the Grim Reaper chose the Sword Spirit. The long-range Sword Spirit was like a sniper. Soaring Dragon had said that they couldn't look for professional gamers. However, this was a game after all. In the field of online gaming, Grim Reaper naturally couldn't be considered a professional gamer. Warhawk looked at Lu Yi and smiled, I'm sorry, but choosing me is destined to be a stupid decision. Speaking of which, where did your friend get the mask? I'll kill him later. If it drops, it'll be mine. As a professional player, Lu Yi knew that Warhawk was very strong. However, who in the main force wasn't? To put it bluntly, anyone could pull a jungler. On the contrary, pulling a jungler required the aggro to be quickly transferred to the tank, so the damage couldn't be too high. Warhawk's equipment wasn't the best in the third team. However, she didn't expect him to invite the Grim Reaper to help. With these two long-range players working together, the game's difficulty instantly became hell. Lu Yi was so nervous that she couldn't speak. However, at this time, her absent-minded brother spoke. Little friend, whoever Yi chooses is destined to enter the main force. Warhawk and the Grim Reaper narrowed their eyes at the same time and looked at the masked man. So arrogant? Hee, friend, PK isn't about talking. Don't be played to death by us later. Lu Chen walked to his sister's side and patted her shoulder, don't be afraid, just fight as you like. Brother, do you know that Grim Reaper? It doesn't matter who he is. Lu Chen said indifferently, don't forget, you're my sister, and I'm your brother. Under Lu Chen's encouragement, Lu Yi's fighting spirit finally reignited, I know, brother. The PK entered the countdown. 3, 2, 1, start. As soon as the match started, Lu Yi quickly rushed forward. She had to get close as soon as possible. Warhawk and the Grim Reaper had already seen through Lu Yi's tactics. As soon as the match started, the two quickly moved in two different directions. Immortal Sword guides the way. Lu Chen whispered, be careful of their second stage. You go for Warhawk. Got it. Lu Yi quickly locked onto Warhawk and chased after him. Lu Chen rushed to the other target. Warhawk pinched his fingers and activated the second stage of Immortal Sword guides the way. He changed direction and rushed toward Lu Yi. At the same time, the Grim Reaper's Immortal Sword guides the way had already reached Lu Yi's side. The two's coordination could be said to be perfect. Warhawk used the second stage of Immortal Sword guides the way to block Lu Yi's movements. Once Lu Yi wanted to dodge, the Grim Reaper could launch a second stage attack. Ingjun frowned, not good, little Mei, your friend is in danger. Not only are their attacks sharp, but they also have a follow-up move. It's impossible to dodge. Anyone who was immersed in the situation would find that Ingjun's analysis was correct. As long as Lu Yi moved, the Grim Reaper's second stage would follow. With the Grim Reaper's control, it would definitely hit. Those two seemed to want to focus their attacks on EE. Little Mei tugged at her brother's sleeve worriedly. Ranged versus melee, they'll definitely eliminate them one by one, Lu Yi already felt the danger. How should she deal with it? Once she was hit, these two experts would definitely have a follow-up move. At that time, the situation might instantly go out of control. No, she couldn't give up yet. How many days had it been? While others were resting, she was leveling, while others were watching videos, she was leveling, while others were sleeping, all for today. However, the enemy was holding a second stage and was waiting for her to change direction, run to the right. At this time, Lu Yi suddenly heard her brother's voice. There was indeed a gap on the right, but how could the Grim Reaper not see it? He must be waiting for her to dodge to the right. However, Lu Yi still dodged to the right without hesitation. Because that was what her brother told her. She completely believed in her brother's words. Humph, idiot. The Grim Reaper sneered. His fingers had already turned into sword fingers and was about to launch a second stage attack. At the same time, Warhawk sneered, you're already dead. 10,000 swords chant. Once the Grim Reaper succeeded, Lu Yi's HP would be reduced by half by 10,000 swords chant. Dragon Soaring War Sky smiled slightly and explained to Fengling, many players like to PK one move at a time. However, for professional players like us, one move is not enough. Once you're hit, you have to deal full damage. This is the quality that a professional player should have. Fengling did not know why Dragon Soaring War Sky said this to her. Well, she was streaming, so this should be said to her fans. It was understandable that he wanted to increase his popularity. However, at this moment, which could even determine life and death, everyone saw Masked Bro instantly change his equipment. Masked Bro changed into the Dark Frost Cloak as he ran. This scene immediately caused everyone's brain to short-circuit. Bro, how can Yi's brother change his equipment? Didn't he enter the battle? Jun thought for a while and suddenly realized, I understand now. Jiutian PK is a little special. It simulates an outdoor battle. Entering the PK doesn't mean entering the battle. Only when you choose the opponent as your target, or when the opponent chooses you as their target, will you enter the battle when both sides have a slight aggro value. Those two people were targeting your friend. No one attacked Masked Bro, and Masked Bro. He didn't choose anyone as his target at the beginning. Therefore, he didn't attract any aggro and didn't enter the battle. Of course, he could change his equipment. Damn, I really underestimated that guy. He actually held back from the beginning. Jun's eyes were full of surprise. At this moment, he suddenly realized that he should be looking at that sloppy guy in a new light. After her brother's explanation, Little Mei finally understood why Lu Yi's brother could change his equipment. Bro, then why did he change his equipment? What's so special about the Dark Frost Cloak? Right, why did he change to the Dark Frost Cloak? Could the Dark Frost Cloak save Yi? Before Jun could think clearly, Lu Chen told him the answer. Frozen Roar. Grim Reaper would never have dreamed that this amateur player would change his equipment in front of him. He also did not expect that when he was about to use the second stage of the Immortal Sword Guides the Way, he was frozen. Frozen, the skill was interrupted, the timing was perfect. Longteng Yi was out of danger. Chapter 149. Now that Lu Yi was out of danger, Warhawk's Innumerable Swords chant had deviated greatly. Taking advantage of Warhawk's Innumerable Swords chant, Lu Yi quickly closed in and attacked. 122. The damage wasn't high, but Warhawk was right. A single attack wasn't enough for a professional player. She had to finish off all the damage. Chaotic Martial Suppression. Lu Yi quickly activated a pugilist skill. Chaotic Martial Suppression was a damage and crowd control skill. First, it disarmed the opponent's weapon so that they couldn't use it to attack. Then, it sacrificed some hits to increase the attack speed for a short period of time and force the opponent to face it head-on. This skill was very useful in dungeons. Not only did it have a taunt effect, but the damage dealt in a short period of time could also quickly accumulate aggro. If someone lost control of their aggro, the pugilist could use this skill to quickly pull back the aggro. Lu Yi quickly waved her dark steel sword and attacked again and again. Warhawk could only wait to be hit. -134. Mississippi -122. -117. Mississippi. Although there were misses, with the attack speed bonus, she still dealt a lot of damage. Warhawk's plan had failed. The result was a mistake that put him in an extremely passive situation. Lu Yi had demonstrated the ability of a professional player to seize an opportunity. In the live stream, people were discussing this move enthusiastically. Sure enough, you can't let a pugilist get close. Once they get close, it's hard to get rid of them. Miss is very strong, but I still don't understand how the masked man did that. Is there a pro player who can analyze it? At this time, a big V fan in the live stream, Den Moongazer, gave the answer. After a round of professional explanation, everyone finally understood why the masked man could change equipment at the start of the fight. Actually, it's not difficult to change equipment. The masked man's scary part is that he planned ahead of time. Den Moongazer's words resonated with many big shots. Hot-blooded age, Den Moongazer is right. Before the fight started, he knew that Grim Reaper and the others were going to focus on that pugilist. He also rehearsed how to kill her in his mind. That's why he was able to freeze Grim Reaper and prevent him from using his second move. Dolo a Thousand Hands, the Grim Reaper is not an ordinary person. If you wear the Dark Frost cloak in advance, the Grim Reaper will definitely have defensive equipment special effects. However, if you change your equipment in the middle of the battle, you will be able to defeat the Grim Reaper by surprise. TT Love Maple, did you guys notice? He used the Edge of Frost Roar to hit Death Reaper. The timing and distance were just right. If he had used it a little earlier, he wouldn't have hit Death Reaper. If he had used it a little later, he would have used Death Reaper's second stage. Thunderous Clamor, this guy's skill level is considered very high even among the professional players. He's always wearing a mask. Could he be a professional player? The discussion in the live broadcast room was in full swing, and the battle on the battlefield was getting more and more intense. After being entangled by Louis, it would be difficult for Warhawk to escape, and he would need the Grim Reaper to act. The key now lay in the hands of the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper was indeed an expert. Before Lu Chen could get close, he had already broken free from the frozen state. He glared fiercely at Lu Chen. According to his temperament, he definitely wouldn't let the other party do as he pleased. But when he looked at his companions, they were being chased and beaten. After all, it was a 2v2. He had to save his comrade first. Kid, just you wait. I'll kill you in a moment. Wind Blast. The Grim Reaper said fiercely and quickly retreated. That kid didn't have the Shadow Tempest cloak, so his speed shouldn't be able to catch up to him. Once he pulled away, he would first help Warhawk get rid of the opponent. With the bonus of his movement speed, the Grim Reaper slowly pulled away and gradually found an angle to attack. Just as he was about to attack, something strange happened. In order to avoid the masked man getting close, he moved to the east side of the arena. The masked man was gradually pulled away, but on the other side, Longting Yi had unknowingly arrived on the other side of Warhawk, forcing him to move to the west. In this way, the Grim Reaper, the masked man, Warhawk, and Yi formed a straight line. The Grim Reaper's line of sight was perfectly blocked by the masked man. That woman. The Grim Reaper suddenly felt a burst of panic. Not only was the man in front of him unusual, but even the little girl could observe the situation here. While suppressing Warhawk and avoiding the Heavenly Flame Pillar, she was able to firmly control her own movements. The cooperation between these two was simply telepathic. The big shots in the broadcast room immediately understood why the Grim Reaper hadn't attacked yet. These 3 points formed a perfect line on the arena. Damn, that girl is also very strong. She's using force to the extreme. Well, she noticed the Grim Reaper's movements and quickly came up with a countermeasure. She's young, but the overall situation and details are very good. The masked man stood in front of the Grim Reaper. Don't underestimate her. When the Grim Reaper moved, the masked man also moved. The Grim Reaper wanted to use the Heavenly Flame Pillar, but even if the masked man avoided the Heavenly Flame Pillar and changed his route, he would still be able to perfectly block the Grim Reaper's line of sight. At this time, unless he directly used the second section of the Immortal Sword to bypass the masked man, but once he used the second section of the Immortal Sword, he wouldn't be able to change his moves. It would be too difficult to hit the martial artist. Jun nodded. The advantage of 2 long-range fighters has been neutralized, but the advantage of 2 melee fighters has been reflected. Little Mei, your friend is very strong. Warhawk's side was already a bit overwhelmed, but the Grim Reaper still couldn't help. A moment later, Louis launched the second wave of chaotic weapon suppression. Warhawk couldn't withstand the second wave of chaotic weapon suppression, but he couldn't get rid of his opponent. At this time, Warhawk found a circle of Heavenly Flame pillars 3 or 4 meters away from both sides. 1 second later, a Heavenly Flame pillar would erupt from there. Now he could only rely on the Heavenly Flame pillar to block the opponent. Time was very tight to pass through the marking before the Heavenly Flame pillar erupted, but now he could only take the risk. Bitch, wait for me to pull away and play you to death. Warhawk threw down a sentence and rushed to the Heavenly Flame pillar that was about to erupt. With a bang, the Heavenly Flame pillar erupted into the sky. Unfortunately, Warhawk couldn't pass through the heavenly flame pillar in time and was directly killed. The protagonists of the PK competition were Soaring Dragon's people. Once Warhawk was defeated, it didn't matter if the Grim Reaper lived or died. In this match, Louis successfully advanced. The match was over, but the Grim Reaper didn't leave the stage. His eyes were fixed on the masked man. "Boy, not bad." The Grim Reaper's tone was clearly angry. "Just play around." After saying that, Lu Chen planned to go find Louis. Seeing the masked man's frivolous appearance, the Grim Reaper became even angrier. "Wait!" The Grim Reaper suddenly called out to Lu Chen, "Warhawk's strength is still too weak. He doesn't know how to fight in close range, really a waste. I ask you, do you dare to fight again?" Lu Chen didn't even turn his head, not interested. For Lu Chen, killing a person wasn't something to be happy about. 1 kill, 100,000. The Grim Reaper loudly revealed a number. 1-on-1, 2v2, 5v5, or a team fight, it's up to you. Chapter 150. Brother, we've won. Louis had just run over to celebrate with her brother when she heard Grim Reaper's challenge. She was stunned. "Brother." Louis had already forgotten that she had successfully entered the main team. She held on to Lu Chen worriedly, not knowing what to do. Grim Reaper's price was too terrifying. 100,000 per kill was definitely a huge gamble for the average person. However, for Louis, such a bet was simply unimaginable. Lu Chen saw Lu Yi's nervous look and gently patted the back of her hand. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Then, Lu Chen turned to Grim Reaper. "Isn't the bet too high?" "Ha ha ha, don't you have money? Do you want me to lend it to you?" Grim Reaper laughed arrogantly. "I think your sister is quite pretty. Why don't you ask her to borrow it from me?" Grim Reaper seemed to be afraid that Lu Chen would not dare to accept. Without waiting for Lu Chen and his sister to agree, he turned around and announced loudly to everyone present. "War Sky, let me use your place for a while. I'll pay for it myself. I'll transfer the money to you later." Grim Reaper was a famous figure after all. Although Dragon Soaring War Sky was unwilling, he could not say anything and could only nod his head in agreement. Everyone looked at Grim Reaper in surprise, not knowing what he was going to do. Grim Reaper saw that he had attracted enough attention and announced loudly to the audience. "I, Grim Reaper, want to challenge the two of them. They can choose the number of participants. If they are short of 1 kill, I'll give them 100,000. Grim Reaper pointed his finger at Lu Chen. "If they don't dare to accept the challenge, then get out of this martial arts arena." In an instant, the surrounding audience and the audience in the live broadcast room were in an uproar. "Fuck, 100,000 per kill. That's a huge gamble." Grim Reaper is angry. "The consequences are serious. Don't tell me he's going to call the entire Shining Battle team over. If that's the case, we won't be able to fight anymore." Lu Chen shook his head and sighed helplessly. Some people were just shameless. Initially, he thought that Grim Reaper had a glorious past and winning the World Championship was considered to have won glory for his country. He wanted to give him a way out. He did not expect him to be such a person in private. Lu Chen didn't need to be courteous to such a person. "Grim Reaper, you seem to be quite rich. How about this, if you want to play, let's play bigger. 200,000 for a kill against a 40-man team." Lu Chen calculated his current assets. He had bought a villa before, so he still had about 9 million yuan. The masked man's voice was not loud, but his words were like an atomic bomb that exploded at the scene. In June looked at Xiao Mei in surprise. "Your friend's family is rich?" Xiao Mei looked anxiously at her good friend on the stage. "No." What was wrong with her brother? Not only did he agree to the bet, he even raised it. He must be crazy. Motherfucker, the stakes have doubled. 200,000 for a kill, and it's a 40-man team. That's a few million for a team. If it's a one-sided game, it might go up to 5 million. Who is that guy? Rich second generation. Grim Reaper laughed maniacally. 200,000. Brat, are you trying to trick me? You're still too inexperienced. Lucien didn't know why his sincere tone would be taken as a scam. Think what you want, this is my price. All right. Grim Reaper accepted the bet. A 40-man team. Each person will prepare 8 million. After the game ends, if both sides are 1 kill away, it'll be 200,000. Brat, I'm afraid you won't even be able to gather 8 million. You don't have to worry about that. It starts in 10 minutes. Lucien only needed to transfer the funds from his bank account to the game. It was done in a few minutes. Grim Reaper, on the other hand, took almost 10 minutes to transfer the money. Both sides set the rules of the game on the custom PK panel. The game would start in 3 minutes. Before this, the Grim Reaper's men had already entered Area 1221 after another. Many of them had the same prefix, Mad Dragon. Is that Mad Dragon? Damn, they're professional players. Grim Reaper actually found Mad Dragon. Although there aren't many people in this guild, every one of them is the best of the best. Damn, did you see their equipment? It's all Tiger's Weep. Even now, no guild could equip a team with Tiger's Weep and Tiger King. But Mad Dragon did it. When these people arrived, they walked leisurely to Grim Reaper's side and teased him. 430, who dares to mess with you? Yo, there's quite a lot of people. Just nice to be in the limelight. So many chicks. I don't care who the opponent is. It's all the same. Mad Dragon gave off a feeling that could only be described with one word, crazy. Looking at the masked man's side, although the money had already arrived, he still hadn't arrived. June looked at the time. There were only a few minutes left. He patted Lucien's shoulder. Bro, why are you doing this? You're giving them 8 million just to save face. How about this, if you don't have anyone, I'll call Mad Dragon's people over. We can at least kill some of them and recoup some of our losses. Bro, what are you waiting for? Go call them. Little May was anxious. Thanks, but there's no need. Lucien said. Louis couldn't listen to anything. She was so anxious that she was about to cry. Bro, where did you get so much money? Did you borrow it from a loan shark? What should we do? Lucien held Lu Yi's hand. A pair of clear eyes looked at his sister through the mask. Silly girl, do you think your brother is a brainless person? But bro, they have so many people and their equipment is so good. We can't win. You don't have to worry about that. But there's one thing you have to prepare for. Go bankrupt. I'm already preparing. Lucien was really amused by this silly girl. Unfortunately, the competition was about to start. It wasn't time for jokes. No, you might have to leave Soaring Dragon in the future. I know. The loan sharks will definitely chase us everywhere. We'll have to wander the world again. Lucien realized that the silly girl's brain had already filled in a gangster movie. Fuck, what are you thinking about all day? I said it's nothing. Don't think too much. Listen carefully. Bro knows that you've been working hard. I don't want to let your efforts go to waste. I don't want to deprive you of your sense of achievement. So, there are some things that I haven't told you. But now, it seems that you might find out soon. Louis was confused. Bro, what's the matter? Lucien smiled. It should be a surprise. Since it's a surprise, just wait patiently. Alright, the competition is about to start. I'll go up alone. There was still half a minute to the competition. Masked Bro slowly stepped onto the 72 Sky Flame Pillars arena. PK member locked. He's alone. That guy is really alone. Fuck, his brain is really damaged. I said that his thinking was clear before. Why do I feel like he's an idiot now? Throwing away 8 million for nothing. When Grim Reaper saw Masked Bro going up alone, he couldn't stop laughing. Fuck, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. Too funny. Ha ha ha. Someone actually gave away 8 million for nothing. Ha ha ha, brothers, let me ask you this deal. Does it feel good? It's too fucking good. Ha, earning 8 million for nothing. There are idiots every year. This is the best I've ever seen. In the face of countless people's ridicule, Lu Chen didn't say anything. He just quietly changed into his equipment. Chapter 151. Dark flame coat, dark frost cloak, dark night pants, Masked Bro was surrounded by a faint blue light. It was not surprising that Tiger King had 3 pieces of equipment. There were many people who had them now. Tiger Weep, a purple weapon, was hovering between Masked Bro's hands. Tiger Weep was not rare either. Everyone from Mad Dragon had one. Until the blank mask that attracted many envious gazes was also surrounded by purple mist, the scene suddenly became chaotic. In the purple mist, Masked Bro became unusually mysterious, like a beast spying on its prey in the mist. The first to explode was annotated handsome. Damn, that's a purple mask? Didn't that guy say he got it from a roadside stall? A purple mask can be dropped from a general store? Impossible. Of course not. It's rare for a general store to drop equipment, and it only drops white trash. How can it drop a purple mask? Damn, Masked Bro, what's the attribute of your mask? Where did it drop? Lu Chen did not have time to care about the curiosity of the people below the stage. He adjusted the ratio of strength to 100%. Health, attack, defense, 3 dimensions, and talents were all restored. When the Zombie King mask appeared, even Mad Dragon's people were a little pale. Everyone's attention was shifted to Masked Bro. Mad Dragon's people were naturally dissatisfied. They were the center of attention wherever they went, but today, their limelight was stolen. Kid, you're really lucky. I don't know where you got a purple mask from, but you think you can defy the heavens? Sorry, you met us, Mad Dragon. I'll drop your mask later. Even if you're lucky, if you don't drop it this time, our guild will put you and that woman on a wanted list. Let's see what you can do then. Masked Bro sneered. First, there are many people who want to kill me. You're not even on the list. Second, you're lucky you're not in our area. Otherwise, you'll be miserable. Arrogant. Let's see how long you can be so stubborn. Time passed by, and finally, the PK entered the countdown stage. 10, 9, 8. 3, 2, 1. Every second, Louie, Little May, and Handsome's hearts were stirred. Everyone's eyes were focused on the stage. Begin. The moment the match began, Grim Reaper, Mad Dragon, and 40 professional players with top equipment rushed toward Masked Bro. However, what happened in the next second left everyone dumbfounded. The masked man had disappeared. Wind Chime's live broadcast room exploded again. Where's the masked man? Fuck, he was still there just a moment ago. Damn, is this a cultivation technique? This was not a cultivation technique, but Xiao Min's active invisibility skill. Quick shift. A loud shout came from behind Mad Dragon's group. Tiger's roar, great obelisk sweep. Wind Chime's live stream room exploded again. Wait, what the hell is rapid movement? Why did the masked man use the Great Ravager? It can't be, right? How could the masked man move so fast? He suddenly appeared behind Mad Dragon. It can't be a teleportation skill, right? He can't be that person, right? It seems like only that person has used the Great Ravager's sweep. Nameless brother? Impossible. Brother Nameless doesn't have invisibility or displacement. In June looked at Lu Yi in shock. Your brother, is he nameless? Lu Yi's brain short-circuited. She wasn't thinking about whether Brother Nameless brother was nameless, but, the person on the battlefield, was he her brother? I don't know either. Jun looked at Lu Yi's shocked face and knew that she was not faking it. He did not continue asking, perhaps Lu Yi really did not know. Alright, if you want to know whether he's nameless or not, you just have to look at his Great Ravager's damage. When Nameless Brother fought Friendship, his Great Ravager's damage was around 1200. Lu Chen was now level 30, and his attributes had increased by a lot. His physical attack had reached 1200, his spiritual power was 120, and Ah Min's possession added 81 spiritual power, totaling 201 spiritual power. Great Ravager's Ravager itself had 180% spiritual power, which was 360 spiritual power damage. At the same time, Tiger's Roar converted 1200 physical attack into spiritual power, which was added to Great Ravager's Ravager. Therefore, Lu Chen's Great Ravager's damage had reached 1600. Lu Chen's position was just right, and most importantly, he was invisible, so Great Ravager's Ravager could not be avoided. After the first Great Ravager's Ravager, 40 top players' health instantly dropped. A third of their 4,000 to 5,000 health was taken away. What the fuck, 1600 health. Fuck. Mad Dragon's people almost went crazy. Fuck, what kind of damage is this? It can't be that guy, right? At the same time, Brother Mask had also appeared. His Great Ravager's Ravagers every second made Mad Dragon's people understand the meaning of despair. Whoosh 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 whoosh, in all four directions, everyone's health dropped bit by bit. Mad Dragon, professional players, who could block 4 Great Ravager's Ravager that had 1600 plus damage. Mad Dragon's people, who were still showing off just now, were down by 90%. 1 versus 40, without any hesitation, 35 people were killed in an instant. Of the remaining 5 people, 4 had black health, and only Grim Reaper, for some reason, was still at full health. Brother Mask kicked away the corpse beside his feet and walked towards the remaining 5 people step by step. His voice was the same as before, without much emotion. Didn't you guys want my mask? Brother Mask slowly raised his hand and pressed it on the mask. I'll give you a chance, come and take it. Lu Chen took off his mask and threw it on the ground. However, the people were no longer paying attention to the exquisite equipment on the ground, the purple mask. Everyone saw the person's face clearly. It's nameless. Oh my god, he's nameless. Fuck, I should have known. If it's not nameless, who else could it be? In the live stream, the bullet screen had gone crazy. The masked man is nameless, bro. Fuck, it's War God Nameless. I was wondering how there could be such an idiot. Look at it now, the idiot is Mad Dragon. Nameless bro. Nameless bro. Kill Mad Dragon, they bully people in our server all day long. Did you see how Nameless bro taught them a lesson? Ha 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 ha, awesome, this is awesome. The one who sent 8 million is Mad Dragon, that bunch of trash. They still want Nameless bro's equipment? Ha ha ha, Mad Dragon's people are crazy. Customer service, Mad Dragon, your account is gone. The second purple equipment in the server was right in front of Mad Dragon's 5 people. They could pick it up just by taking 2 steps and bending down. Even if they were killed by Nameless Bro, it might not be dropped. However, no one from Mad Dragon dared to pick it up. There were a few legends that had to be mentioned. Once, the Korean server provoked Hwaseo's server. In the end, Nameless Bro beat the Korean server until they begged for mercy. Once, the guild snatched Nameless Twin Tower ranking, but they were defeated by Nameless Bro. Once, a purple mask was placed in front of them, but it was Nameless Bro's. Nameless Bro, yes, we were blind. Death God, you fucker. How dare you provoke Nameless Bro? You dragged Mad Dragon down with you. Nameless Bro, quickly keep your equipment. We were wrong, we will go back to our server now. Why are you still standing there like idiots? Surrender. Mad Dragon's 4 people rushed to surrender and quit the PK. Of course, there was no such thing as surrendering meant losing half the battle. The current score was 0-39. Most of these people who used money to win friends over were like this. Lu Chen slowly walked in front of Death God and smiled. So, have you figured it out now? Who was the one who sent 8 million just to save face? Chapter 152. No, I don't accept this, I don't accept this. Grim Reaper kept repeating this sentence as he retreated. Character was not formed overnight. Grim Reaper had forced Lu Chen and his sister to bet after losing the competition. He was so arrogant because he was good at controlling the game and had nothing to fear in the esports scene. In his server, he was the king, and the players who were bullied by him did not dare to speak up. It was only when Nameless revealed his identity that many people stood up to criticize Mad Dragon. It was obvious that many people did not dare to provoke Grim Reaper Mad Dragon. Now, 8 million was gone, and his reputation was gone. He glared at Nameless. You did it on purpose. Lu Chen looked at Grim Reaper calmly. I remember that you were the one who suggested the bet. I gave you a chance. If you were willing to take a step back then, this wouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, you're used to being arrogant and don't want to give others a chance. If I wasn't Nameless, you'd have me, right? Grim Reaper's face turned pale. It seemed that it was impossible to turn the tables. However, at this moment, Grim Reaper glanced and noticed that a cluster of symbols was slowly appearing under Nameless' feet. This light circle happened to be blocked by the corpse beside Nameless' feet. It was difficult for ordinary people to notice it. It was the 72 sky flame pillars. Grim Reaper's mind raced. His chance had come. No matter how strong Nameless was, could he withstand the sky flame pillars? Impossible. While Nameless was unaware of the changes under his feet, he had to stall him. You. Nameless. Fine, I lost today. I can't afford to lose. I apologize to you. I only ask that you don't kill me and leave me with my last bit of dignity. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. Dignity is earned by oneself. Unfortunately, you don't seem to know how to repent. As soon as he finished speaking, a pillar of light shot out from under Lu Chen's feet and instantly engulfed Nameless in the pillar of light. The sudden change caused the audience to fall into a terrifying silence. Lu Yi widened her eyes in horror. Why did this sky flame pillar not have a cursor notification? In the live stream channel, comments flew wildly. No way, the Grim Reaper actually turned the tables around? Nameless was too careless. This is the easiest time to let down your guard. Who would have thought that the result of a perfect team wipe would be the Grim Reaper's comeback? So the Grim Reaper showed weakness just now to lure Nameless into making a mistake. This guy is quite meticulous. Nameless. Sigh, I fell into his trap. Seeing this scene, the Grim Reaper laughed wildly, ahahaha, idiot, hahaha, die. You want to fight me? You're still far from being arrogant in front of me. So what if you've won the battle? But you, Nameless, have lost to me, the Grim Reaper. In the future, who dares to call you Nameless War God? You are no longer the nameless invincible god of war. You are my defeated opponent, the god of death. Just based on this, it's worth 8 million. That's right, 8 million. To be able to defeat the war god Nameless was not shameful at all. On the contrary, today's battle would definitely be recorded in history. Remember, Nameless. If the King of Hell wants you to die at midnight, no one will keep you alive until dawn. In front of me, the Grim Reaper, even if you are nameless, you still have to kneel down and call me daddy. Ha ha ha. Many people felt that it was a pity for Nameless' moment of carelessness. There were also people who were jealous of Nameless' reputation and mocked him. However, very few people paid attention to this sky flame pillar. Fenglingzi was looking at the sky flame pillar. Impossible. Impossible. Fenglingzi said in horror. Goddess, what's wrong? You don't have to have such a big reaction after Nameless lost, right? Yeah, I've never seen Fenglingzi lose her composure like this. Not only did Feng Lingzi lose her composure, Ingjuan's eyes were wide open and his face was filled with horror. Oh my god, this is impossible, absolutely impossible. In the TT Guild, Li Qiuning was feeling sorry for Nameless' loss. Sigh, what a pity. That Grim Reaper was too cunning and had such good luck to wait for a sky flame pillar. Hey, Brother Sun, why aren't you saying anything? Li Qiuning looked at Lin Sun and saw the exaggerated expression on his face. Impossible, impossible. This is absolutely impossible. What's impossible? It's just impossible. Xiaoyao phone and glasses were about to turn off the video and go back to leveling up. However, just as the two of them stood up, their bodies seemed to have turned into stone. Fuck, is this a bug? No, this isn't a bug, but this is impossible. Bosses from all over the world were muttering the same word, impossible. Brother, what's going on? Little Mei was angry. She shook Ingjun, who was in a daze. Say something. Look inside that sky flame pillar. It's dealing damage. -10,000, immune. The sky flame pillar had dealt damage 3 times in 3 seconds. What did this mean? It meant that Nameless didn't die. He had been burned by the sky flame pillar 3 times. Grim Reaper was still laughing crazily until he saw a figure slowly walking out of the sky flame pillar. His smile froze into an indescribably strange expression. Impossible, this is impossible. A voice faintly sounded, Sky flame pillar, that's all. Boom, all the broadcast rooms exploded. Fuck, sky flame pillar, that's all. What the fuck, is this something a human would say? Oh my god, how strong is Nameless? He stayed in the sky flame pillar for 3 seconds. I'm going crazy. Look at Nameless' reaction, he didn't panic at all. So, just now, he actually discovered the sky flame pillar's halo? He deliberately tested the sky flame pillar. Fuck, what kind of god is this? I suddenly want to be alone. I realize that in front of Nameless, my self-esteem has been trampled to pieces. When the figure appeared in front of Grim Reaper again, everyone finally saw Nameless' health for the first time. 8426/28426. Soaring Dragon, who was beside Winchim, spat out a mouthful of blood. 28,000 health, are my eyes playing tricks on me? Nameless had fought a few matches, but this was the first time he had lost health. When his health limit was revealed, everyone was in despair. His level was also revealed along with the damage he had taken. Level 30. Oh my god, didn't you say that your brother was just playing around? What the hell is level 30? From the start of the match until now, Louis had been in a daze. Brother agreed to the 8 million bet. Dumbfounded. Brother one-shot Mad Dragon. Dumbfounded. Brother is John Doe. Dumbfounded. Brother was swallowed by the sky flame pillar. Dumbfounded. Brother came out alive. Dumbfounded again. Brother 28,000 health, level 30. Dumbfounded, Ingjun said emotionally, fuck, I was wrong. That mask must be a level 30 equipment, and I actually asked him to make one for me. I can't wear it even if he gave it to me. Li Qiuning felt that her heart couldn't take it anymore. She had already placed Nameless' strength in a very high position, but now she realized that there was no such thing as a very high position. She had underestimated him. Fuck, he's too strong, saying that the sky flame pillar is only so-so. He's too arrogant. Woo-woo. Old Peng took a deep breath and finally spoke. In front of Nameless, Grim Reaper can only die. Chapter 153. With Lu Chen's reaction, how could he not notice the halo of the heavenly flame pillar under his feet? The Grim Reaper thought that he was attracting Lu Chen's attention, but he did not know that Lu Chen wanted to test the power of the heavenly flame pillar. The energy of the 72 heavenly flame pillars might have come from the mythical beast of the celestial mountain. Since he was here, he might as well give it a try. No matter if the heavenly flame pillar's damage was 10,000 or higher, he had Xiao Min's protection. 1 second was enough for him to react. Reality proved that the heavenly flame pillar's damage was fixed at 10,000 points. He had 28,000 HP, so he could last for 2 seconds. With Xiao Min's life-saving effect, he could last for 3 seconds. If he had 1 second to react before the heavenly flame pillar appeared, the heavenly flame pillar would not be much of a threat to him in 4 seconds. That was why Lu Chen said, "The heavenly flame pillar is just a so-so." When he looked at Lu Chen again, the Grim Reaper's face was ashen. After being burned by the heavenly flame pillar for 3 seconds, Nameless still had more HP than him. What else could he do other than feel fear? Lu Chen shrugged at the Grim Reaper. "It's about time. I should take the last 200,000 HP rapid movement. Tiger descends the mountain." The Grim Reaper could not react at all. A bunch of numbers floated above his head. 18 times of damage, including a large number of critical hits, poison effects, silence, and speed reduction. In an instant, the Grim Reaper's HP bar disappeared. Lu Chen's AoE damage had reached 1600. Not to mention the single target damage, he had directly dealt 9,000 plus damage, and the 2 Grim Reapers were instantly killed. Ironically, on the stage, those who were showing off had already become corpses. The only person standing now was the person who had been the quietest. Even if the PK was over, everyone's eyes were still locked on him. His every move was the focus of attention. Lu Chen walked in front of the mask. With the tip of his sword, he lifted the mask and it fell into his hand. His movements were elegant and skillful. Checking the PK results, Lu Chen nodded in satisfaction. Today's harvest was not bad. Step by step, Lu Chen walked to the edge of the stage and stopped beside Lu Yi and Little Mei. Lu Chen looked at Lu Yi, who was in a daze. "Why are you still standing there?" Lu Yi raised her head. If it weren't for this face and this tone that she was too familiar with, she wouldn't have believed that this person was her brother. You lied to me. Didn't you say, it was just for fun?" "Oh, right. The last time I was poisoned to death in the wild, was it you?" Lu Chen suddenly felt guilty. What are you talking about?" "I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I poison you? It must be you. Who else but you could poison so much blood?" "It really wasn't me. It was purely an accident. I didn't do it on purpose." "Alright, it really was you." Louie walked over angrily and grabbed her brother's arm. "Humph." However, Louie snorted angrily and leaned on her brother's arm. She sobbed and said, "Brother, you almost scared me to death just now." Lu Chen patted Lu Yi's head. "Alright, I told you not to worry." June and Little Mei looked at Nameless and seemed a little nervous. This was the legendary god of war, Nameless. He was actually Lu Yi's brother. And now he was standing beside them. Even if June was a member of Wild Waves, he used to only look at the leader from afar. Lu Yi finally wiped her tears. After she calmed down, she didn't forget to pinch Lu Chen. "I told you not to tell me." Lu Chen smiled. His sister was still sensible and didn't blame him. "Leader." June greeted Lu Chen nervously. I just said that I wanted to help you." It was a bit like showing off in front of an expert. Lu Chen smiled at June and his sister. "It's fine. Oh right, Little Mei, you and Lu Yi can join Wild Waves in the future." Little Mei was a little flattered. Can I? My skills aren't as good as Yi's. I didn't even join the main team just now." "Of course, you can. You're Yi's good friend, so you're my friend. Although Wild Waves isn't a professional team, it's developing quite well. At least you'll be happier there. Besides, isn't your brother there too?" After saying that, Lu Chen directly sent out an invitation to join the guild. Nameless directly sent out an invitation to join the guild. Other than the other 4 people who signed for Wild Waves, no one else would receive such treatment. Little May excitedly left Soaring Dragon and accepted Lu Chen's invitation. Soaring Dragon, Old Lu, Wen Qim, Little Ming, and the others who had been standing high up on the rostrum rushed to the side. Seeing War Sky and the others coming over, Lu Chen smiled and said, "Sorry, I'm poaching you too." "Mr. Nameless, what are you talking about?" Old Lu hurriedly said, "That, we're here to apologize. We didn't know before." Lu Chen raised his hand. "It's normal. I should be thanking you. I've always hoped that Yi could train and improve herself. I'm very satisfied with her performance today." Although Soaring Dragon's management had never valued Lu Yi, they still followed the rules. From the fairness of the competition, it could be seen that in Soaring Dragon, everyone had a chance. Of course, under such management, there was also a lot of pressure. However, it was also this kind of pressure that allowed the silly girl to grow up so quickly. From this point of view, Lu Chen was sincerely grateful to Soaring Dragon. Nameless, who was terrifying on the battlefield, was actually so easygoing in private. Old Lu and the others breathed a sigh of relief. "All right, it's time for us to leave." "Wait," Wen Qim suddenly said. Lu Chen looked at Wen Qim in surprise. He was very familiar with this woman. He didn't expect that they would meet in the game today. At least in the game, Wen Qim was really beautiful. She was even more pleasing to the eye than in the video. Lu Chen noticed that there was no live stream logo next to Wen Qim's avatar. This meant that she had ended her live stream. It was obvious that Wen Qim was also a little nervous. She hesitated for a moment and walked to Nameless. She first whispered, "Warlord, can I ask you a question alone?" Lu Chen was a little confused, but he still agreed. The others tactfully looked to the side and the two of them walked to the side. "What is it? Do you know Mad God?" "Mad God?" Lu Chen didn't expect Wen Qim to ask this question. Wen Qim thought that Nameless was a little unhappy and hurriedly explained, "That, I know that the only one who can compete with you is Mad God. You're both in Area 122, so the competition should be very fierce. Maybe you've fought in the advanced area. It's not appropriate for me to ask you about Mad God." Lu Chen blinked. This woman's imagination wasn't weak. "He didn't fight Mad God, it's okay, I'm not that petty. What do you want to know about Mad God?" Wen Qim saw that Nameless was so open-minded and sighed in relief. Thank you, Warlord. That, if you have the chance to meet Mad God, can you let him read the email? I've been worried about him." "Is this a confession?" Lu Chen was a little surprised. Wen Qim was a little flustered and hurriedly explained, No, I'm just a streamer. He helped me before, and I've always wanted to thank him if I have the chance." Lu Chen nodded. The name Mad God had almost been forgotten by the outside world except for the personal dungeons that appeared recently. He didn't expect Wen Qim to be so loyal and still remember Mad God. "Okay, I'll pass on your message if I have the chance." Chapter 154. Lu Yi and Little May both joined Wild Waves, but Lu Chen also said that he wouldn't open a back door for them. If they wanted to gain a foothold in Wild Waves with 500 people, they had to fight for it with their own strength. Lu Chen originally wanted to take Lu Yi to level up, but the silly girl didn't go. "Brother, my level can't compare to yours, but it's considered high among normal players. It wasn't easy for you to establish a level advantage, so don't waste time on me. The competition in Jiutian is so fierce right now, and there are so many variables in Jiutian. If you fall behind by one step, you might lose your previous advantage." Lu Chen looked at Lu Yi in surprise. "Yo, you're so self-aware. TCH, how can your sister not be self-aware?" Lu Yi pouted proudly, "Hurry up and level up, don't think about taking me along, I'll get stronger on my own." "Okay." Lu Chen shook his head, "Right, you're not in Soaring Dragon anymore, hurry up and go home. Pack up your things, we're moving." "Moving? Brother, we have a few soldiers here. The boss suddenly called me over." Lu Yi's expression was puzzled. Lu Chen was also wondering what happened to Lu Yi. He turned around and saw that Ying Jun and Little Mei seemed to be offline. What's the situation? At this moment, Lu Chen also received a call. It was from Li Muhua. Brother Chen, I've already sent someone to pick up your sister. They'll be home in about 30 minutes. We'll take care of the information from Soaring Dragon, Little Mei, and Ying Jun, so you don't have to worry. You're moving too fast. Speaking of which, aren't you guys protecting a bit too much? There's no other way, you're the most important person to protect right now. I'll tell you something, but don't spread it. Right now, in some Western countries, there are already 3 episodes of vicious real-life PK incidents. Offline real-life PK. It's normal for real-life PK to happen in-game. I've seen it happen a few times in internet cafes. No, you didn't get the news, so it's normal for you to think so. From what we know, these 3 incidents were even more organized and planned. However, you're right. These are isolated cases. It's normal for a few cases to occur among 4 billion players. However, we have to pay attention to the fact that Zhou influence is too great. The business opportunities derived from the game are getting bigger and bigger. Once it's linked to profits, this kind of thing will happen more often. Lu Chen nodded. That was true. Zhou had only been online for a little over a month, but the highest number of players online had already exceeded 4 billion, which meant that 1/5 of the world's population was playing the game at the same time. Coupled with some of the uniqueness of the game itself, it was like a second world outside the real world. It would be strange if there weren't many business opportunities. When the forces of all sides converged, the wrestling between them would become more frequent, and the competition for benefits would become more intense. No matter how strong he was in the game, he was still a mortal in real life. Even if he was shot, wouldn't he still die? From the looks of it, this is still a rare occurrence. Tianhang has suppressed it, and the situation has not escalated. Most of the players have not developed to the stage of real-life PK, but it is still necessary for us to take precautions. Li Muhua's tone was much more serious this time. He was not joking. Anyway, just play the game normally. I will take care of the offline matters. Although Lu Chen did not take this matter too seriously, he had no reason to reject an additional layer of protection. Okay, thanks. After hanging up, Lu Chen finally understood what was going on with his sister, Ying Jun, and Little Mei. Lu Chen did not know how long Ying Jun and the others would take. The city was also safe, so he did not wait for them and directly left the Celestial Mountain King's city. This time, when he accompanied Lu Yi to participate in the Team PK competition, Lu Chen more or less obtained some information about the Celestial Beast. That guy should be hiding in the Stormy Pond, and the 72 Pillars of Flame might be its skill or talent. As for the damage, Lu Chen had already experienced it. Once hit, it would deal 10,000 damage. It can't insta-kill me, but it might not be enough for me to kill it. Lu Chen pondered. I have to continue evolving. To evolve, Lu Chen lacked primordial materials. Currently, the only thing that was related to primordial was the primordial battlefield. However, the primordial battlefield was blocked by the moon-worshipping blood pool, an overpowered map. Let's go to Fiend City to level up and see if there are any dungeons or secret lands. Thinking up to this point, Lu Chen headed straight for the level 30 map. Blood Fiend macaques could be seen everywhere in Fiend City. However, this time, Lu Chen did not head towards the area with the most macaques. He had already explored that area on the map. There was nothing special there. After walking about 400 to 500 meters away from the ruined walls of Fiend City, the surrounding forest gradually became sparse. Lu Chen carefully observed the changes in his surroundings. At the same time, he walked along the edge of his personal map and explored the entire map. There are fewer monkeys, but the monsters are so sparse in such a large map. Won't it be a waste? Lu Chen was a little puzzled. Let's head south. If there aren't any monsters, then there's nothing to see in Fiend City. Sticking close to the rocky mountain, Shifeng headed south. Before long, the path ahead was blocked by another mountain. He had already explored this part of Fiend City. Damn it, there's nothing here. How many levels do they want me to grind so I can barge into the moon-worshipping blood pool? Blood poison was a HP removal type damage, and it was a percentage damage. Increasing one's maximum HP didn't seem to be of much use. Damn, this is a little difficult. Lu Chen shook his head. Just as he was about to return to the ruined Fiend City, a faint sound suddenly came from behind him. Lu Chen stopped in his tracks and listened carefully. The sound of water. Whoosh! 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 The faint sound of water flowing came from behind the mountain. Judging by the size of the mountain, if there was water flowing on the other side of the mountain, he wouldn't be able to hear it. So why was he able to hear it now? Lu Chen walked up to the rock wall and pressed his ear against it. Whoosh! Whoosh! Sure enough, there was the sound of water flowing. Lu Chen took 2 steps back and carefully examined the rock wall in front of him. It was about a dozen meters tall, and its sides were as neat as a knife. There were only a few unknown plants growing on it. Could it be a secret door? After touching the rock wall back and forth, Lu Chen couldn't find anything like a switch. What should he do if he couldn't find the key to the safe? There seemed to be only one answer. Lu Chen pulled out Tiger Whip and took a few steps back. Tiger descends the mountain. Bang! 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 The rock wall emitted the sound of metal colliding, but there was no indication of his HP. Just as Lu Chen was in despair, a system notification suddenly appeared. There was actually movement on the rock wall. There was a rumbling sound, and the surrounding ground shook slightly. Then, 2 lines of words appeared on the surface of the rock wall. Strength testing rock door. Based on the test results of the strength testing, dungeons with different rewards will be opened. Lu Chen frowned. What the hell? What kind of weird gameplay did Heavenly Travels designers come up with this time?